Hello, everyone. Welcome to an all new episode of the Anination podcast. We are currently setting up things here before we get things started. For those who are watching on YouTube, thank you all for checking us out. We'll be on in just a few moments. Again, the animation world continues to revolve around us, and a lot of big news happened
Yeah,
throughout the world of animation.
stay tuned and because we definitely got we got some pretty interesting topics to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, you may have seen it from the Twitter post or anything around there that we've got a big story to talk about, especially the fact that it's pretty much like treaded down now about this certain movement that was going on like in the past couple of weeks. So yeah, I mean, like I understand that we are all kind of bummed about it, but we do need to explain ourselves what's going on with this thing now.
Yeah, so give us a watch, give us a listen, because we got a lot to talk about in terms of that certain project.
Okay, yeah. Anyways, let's go ahead. We'll be back in a few moments. I hope you guys enjoy the music while we get ourselves ready. All right, welcome everyone to an all-new episode of the Anination podcast. My name is Nate, and Omid's here on my side.
What is up, Anination crew? How y'all doing today? And hope y'all getting ready for a brand new month, which is March. Of course, it's the first week of March, so yeah, hope y'all are looking forward to an upcoming spring season.
Yeah, well, spring is coming up. I mean, it's March right now, so spring is coming up real soon. I'm already feeling it because it's raining a lot. This past week it was raining a lot.
It was raining a lot recently. There have been some dry days here and there, but it's pretty much once in a blue moon sort of thing where you get no rain on particular days. But for the most part, yeah, it's been raining and draining like crazy.
Yeah. Well, last week was kind of like a big damper, but to be fair, like most of that weekend, we were having a fun time nonetheless. Let's talk about weekend stuff. So, how have you been this past weekend?
The past weekend, I've been doing fine. On Friday, I went to a karaoke event held by a meetup group. And then on Saturday, I went to hang out with a friend. We watched Dune Part 2. Let me tell you, Dune Part 2 was a massive improvement over Dune Part 1.
Oh, that's saying something.
Massive improvement. I mean, it does have some pacing issues here and there, Dune Part 2, but it is better than Dune Part 1. Dune Part 1, here's a hot take. I didn't care for Dune Part 1 that much because I felt like, the story was lagging. I understand they were trying to build up the world and the characters and all that stuff, but I felt that the pacing was sluggish in Dune Part 1. Dune Part 2 is where they really pick up the pace. Dune Part 2 is where the action, has been, shown in throughout most of the movie.
Yeah, I have not seen any of the Dune movies, but I want to see Dune 2 just because I've been hearing a lot of hype. Like a couple of friends have been telling me Dune has been great, so... I mean, I have to watch 1 first, but it's on Max, so if anything, I have that to look forward to.
Yeah, and on Sunday, you and I were spending time with some friends.
Yes, we did, because one of our friends ended up having I want to say, like, it's a housewarming because she's already moved into that house, so I would say, like, it was just more of a hangout at her place.
It was a hangout, but before we got to her place, we actually did a few things before we got to her place.
Yes, so we watched Demon Slayer again. I don't know why. I don't know why we watched Demon Slayer again, but we did.
But this time around, we watched it in English dub, whereas last time we watched it in sub.
Was that better than the sub, though?
Not quite.
That's what I was thinking. Like, why did we watch it English dubbed?
Well, because it was the convenient time. I felt like 1:30 was a convenient time.
What was the one at 10:30 then? It was a subbed one?
The one at 10:30 was subbed, but I felt like...
Was there any more, like, sub showings in that theater?
There was, but I felt that... also, not just 1:30, but also the fact of how, okay, if we're going to watch Demon Slayer twice, let's watch it in a different language.
I know,
so
and my thing is I already watched the movie, and the thing is, like, it was already epic as heck when we watched it in English sub, because, like, the Japanese was great, the voice acting was amazing, and it's the same thing. It's like, I watched the same film, but then I'm watching it in English dub, and I'm like, English dub is okay, but at the same time, I'm like, I've been more towards the English subs, so I know the Japanese voice actors, I know how they, like, portrayed Tanjiro, Inosuke, and Nezuko, and everybody else. I'm like, I mean, like, to be fair, like, the English dub wasn't that bad. It was actually okay, hearing Tanjiro say a lot of stuff, and then still kind of lacking compared to, like, the Japanese dub.
Well, yeah, obviously the, English sub is superior to the English dub, but the English dub, there was some effort put into it, especially voiceover acting. Like you said, the English sub characters do try their best, even though it was an okay result. Like Zach Aguilar gives his best as Tanjiro. Also, Abby Trott is an adorable Nezuko, adorable yet threatening.
Abby Trott, yes. We're going to talk about her then later on this week. Later on in this episode, because she was nominated in the Crunchyroll Anime Awards, which we're going to review today. So yeah,
so you said it best. It would not be the first time that we have mentioned this voice actress.
But like Abby Trott, like I know her as the person who sang the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate song. She was also Becky from the Casa Grandes. For those Casa Grandes fans who are watching right now, yeah.
Yeah. So since we're Super Smash Bros. Fans and Casa Grandes fans, I'm just like, okay, we know her as more than Nezuko.
So I mean, like, yeah, Nezuko's definitely huge for her, yes. And I'm imagining like Abby Trott is probably gonna do more voice acting coming up real soon. I mean, if anything, like for those voice actors who start off in animation, like for example Adam MacArthur, who started as Marco Diaz from Star vs. Force of Evil, now he's the one main guy from Jujutsu Kaisen. So.
Yeah, I feel like Marco from Star vs. Force of Evil. his voiceover work from that would pretty much elevated his career.
I think so, because it started off like that, and
Yeah.
he did other things here and there, but nonetheless, he's still affiliated with Disney with like doing background voice acting here and there. So
Including, he also reprised his role in Chibiverse. So
yeah, I know
that's
exactly. So
another thing.
I mean, we talked about that last week. Yes, he's still Adam MacArthur. He still does a great voice acting stuff. So if anything, like Abby Trott's doing great as a voice actress, but I mean, like, look at everybody else who's also voice acting as well. They did well. I mean, like, I can't say much. Like, I haven't watched the English dub of Demon Slayer, so if anything, I say I was entertained, but I felt more comfortable watching it in the Japanese dub than the English dub. Okay.
Which is fair. As for me, I've seen most of the series in sub, but throughout most of the Swordsmith Village arc, I'm not gonna lie, I actually watched it in the dub.
Why?
I watched the dub version because
You have the option of actually watching it in sub and dub.
because with the English dub, yeah, like I said before, since the English voice actors really do the best, they really do, give it their all. It's a way of me showing respect to the English voice actors.
I understand that, but I had to keep it up with the Japanese dub. Like, I watched it first in the Japanese dub, and I just felt more comfortable watching it there compared to like watching some English dub folks. I mean, to be fair, they all do a great job, but I'm a bit more adjusted to English. I mean, I'm more adjusted to the Japanese dub, okay?
Like, as someone who likes both, I like to rotate.
If you can. I mean, yeah, there's that option in Crunchyroll, but I'm like, no.
I can is my choice.
I get it. Whatever. But it's either way. I mean, it's still a good movie. It's, again, I don't know if it was a pretty good movie just because it was more towards like you're watching the recap of what happened in the end of Swordsmith Village arc, and then are you watching the first episode of the Hashira training arc.
And that's where the biggest problem of the movie lies, is that rather than it being an introduction to the Hashira training arc mainly, what they wanted to do was that they wanted to focus on the first half of the movie being a recap of the Swordsmith Village arc, and particularly the final episode, and then they wanted to focus the second half. That's when they get to the Hashira training arc.
Okay, so I think this happens to like most of those recap movies, by the way. I think they did the same thing with the Entertainment Bridge to the Swordsmith training arc. Okay, so they did it again, by the way, with the Bridge to Swordsmith training to the Hashira arc. Okay, so
and
it's just more of like I mean, I want to say like a cash money grab for Demon Slayer fans to just say like, hey, take my money. I want to watch I want to be one of the first people to watch the Hashira training arc or something. And I'm like, it can wait a couple months before it comes out on Crunchyroll. Okay, so
and that's the thing, because that it ended up being like just the first episode of an upcoming arc. That movie didn't get at nearly as much hype as its past Demon Slayer movie, Mugen Train.
Okay, Mugen Train, though, to be fair, that was entirely an arc. Okay, so that was absolutely brand new content.
So that's different. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm just saying, like, it's brand new content. So,
but yeah, going back to the title, Bridge 2 or Road 2, Hashira Training. It's like I didn't quite catch those first two words. Okay. Like with those two words, Bridge 2, Hashira Training, I still thought to myself, okay, isn't this going to be about, mainly the Hashira training? Why are we going like Swordsmith Village, then Hashira training? But then I thought to myself, Bridge. Oh,
or
okay.
It's two. Yeah, it's not really Bridge 2. It's more to the Hashira training. If you
to
the
the Hashira training. Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess they put emphasis on to the
yeah,
Hashira
because
training.
it's like it's supposed to be like your way to get to the Hashira training arc. And again, like we don't see much of what happened. Literally, like when Tanjiro left the village, he literally just went back into where the Hashira are and just pretty much rested up and ate a lot of food. That was pretty much how that was.
and also don't forget Nezuko's first words after good morning.
I know. Okay, I didn't want to cry again. Okay, I'm like, come on.
The part was funny with Nezuko and Zenitsu. Zenitsu, of course, is happy to see Nezuko, and then Nezuko says, "Good morning, Inosuke."
Oh God!
I was like, yes, you mentioned the better boy.
Oh God!
You mentioned best boar.
Ew. No, I mean, I'm glad to see my boy back, Zenitsu. He's my boy.
Oh, good morning, Inosuke.
Get the fuck out of here! No, you're not Nezuko. Get out of here! No, but I actually do. Again, appreciate the fact that they're back. At least we get to see Inosuke and Zenitsu back, because we haven't seen them in the Swordsmith Village arc. And to be fair, they were doing their own missions here and there. So, I mean, that was the whole source of training. It was more towards was it Tanjiro and Nezuko. So
yeah, that's what made. That's also another thing that made to the Hashira training arc works so well as well, is that it's a reunion of the trio.
Yeah, exactly. Well, they were going to come back eventually, okay? I was hoping, like, yeah, now we actually get to see it in that first episode of the Hashira training arc, okay? If anything, it does also just show, like, how they're going to do the Hashira training. Remember, the Hashira are the ones who are training people, so you get to see each of the Hashira doing their own training things here and there. Like, for example, you get to see, like, what was it? The one stone Hashira, the one person who's always praying all the time. Like, his one is more towards endurance, like the fact that water is just gonna keep pouring down your back, and if it's not good for you, you're gonna probably fade from that. Yeah, there's a lot of like things that are pretty cool. I mean, like, it just tells me like Demon Slayers are gonna go through all of this training that the Hashiras are gonna do, and they're going to really train the hell out of them because they know that Nezuko's a threat now to the whole Hashira people.
Oh yeah, it ain't gonna be easy, and especially how we have seen the other trainees. They are exhausted as hell, and yeah, it's pretty much a sneak preview of what is to come for the three.
And again, like, there's more mysteries coming up here and there. I mean, I don't want to spoil a lot more because I want you guys to watch it. But there's something about another person from the Hashira. There's some more secret things here and there. You have to walk back into the old Demon Slayer episodes to wonder what's going to happen in the Hashira training arc too. So it makes it more entertaining, makes me actually excited for the next couple of new episodes of Demon Slayer.
Yeah, so what it is that it's a nice little introduction, nice little preview of what's to come for the entire Hashira training arc that we're going to get we're going to get soon.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that was pretty much like our review of the Demon Slayer Hashira training. I didn't know how this ended up becoming a big conversation.
I think it shows how passionate
I was gonna
we are about the series.
I was gonna say how was your weekend, but we ended up actually having like 5 minutes of talking about Demon Slayer.
I guess it's more like how passionate we are about a certain series. We're so passionate up to the point where we can't stop rambling on and on about it.
I know, but like I think we just continue on being deeper and deeper into the hole, so we got to stop that. Anyways, but yeah, I mean, Sunday we ended up hanging out at our friend's place. We actually played a couple of games like Cards Against Humanity. We played also Uno, which I love Uno, by the way. It's fun.
I cannot tell the amount of time. I can count my hands.
See,
how many times
Uno is fun.
This guy screwed me over.
I said Uno is fun, and that's why I brought it over.
You screwed me over so many times. It's just ridiculous.
Plus 4, plus 2, plus 2.
Why?
You didn't win at all, so that's okay with me.
I didn't need all these scores, man. Why you do this to me, man?
That's how the game goes. Uno, like, we could screw you over and all, which is great to see. I like entertained when I watched it.
Oh my god. But yeah. So as for our friend's place looked nice. Our friends showed us upstairs and downstairs of it, and the interior design looks really great. And then you got all these decorations. I even saw a Game of Thrones sword there too.
Okay, I didn't want to be in full detail, but yeah, she did redecorate that place, considering that it was actually an old property.
Yeah, and it really does show with all the decorations and stuff.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, she has a new place and she's with her sister, and I think that they're having a fun time, like, living together without their parents and stuff. It's kind of like me, for example, when I moved out, to be fair. Like, it just feels so relieving when you move out of your parents' place. Like, there's no pressure anymore when you're with your parents, that I can just have my own space to myself with a couple of, like, other roommates, and we were all chill together. Like, it's been over a year since I started moving into my friend's place in Milpitas, and for our other friend who's moving in with her sister, it looks like they're having a fun time themselves. Like, looks like they're being really chill with each other and all.
Yeah, nice. So, here.
Okay. All right. As we could talk about, like, is that your weekend that you're finished, or?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So my weekend was just pretty interesting. Saturday, I actually did check out. Well, so on Saturday, me and Jess, we ended up checking out. We wanted to check out this one place that actually had some great, like, how would I say this? Wagyu beef they were actually selling. It was literally close to her house, and then she was actually interested in actually going to that place, but they're having this soft opening happening right now. But it wasn't really much of a soft opening, considering like the wait time for getting a reservation at that place is like 2 hours long. So we really wanted to eat at that place, but it's like that long of a wait that we decided to just change it over and moved over to another spot. So we went to Kura instead.
Hey, that's a good substitute, and especially considering the fact of how well you go ahead and say it.
So Kura, we had to wait like we had to wait like an hour just for us to get sushi. It wasn't that bad when it came to the wait time itself, but the theme that was happening this month was by family. So we wanted to grab obviously we wanted to eat at our like plates in order for us to get a free prize. The sushi still was amazing over there as always.
Nice.
And then we ended up like trying to get those prizes ourselves. And unfortunately, when I looked at the array of prizes they had, the Anya stuff was already gone. I'm like, God fucking damn it.
That's not a surprise. It's actually not a surprise.
Yeah. Oh, and an interesting thing that I actually talked about. There's this one person that was actually next to us, and we were talking about fanime for a second. Which, by the way, we're gonna do a subject on fanime soon. Obviously, we talked about like how this convention that we've been going through since 2009 has been starting to actually go down the drain, and apparently the person next to us actually is a staffer there. So I talked to him and I told him like, how is it going, how these news are happening here and there. He told me he doesn't work for gaming, he doesn't work for cosplay, he doesn't work for those apartments that end up actually going down the drain. He says that he works for guest relations, which is like another department. But after hearing the fact that anime started to treat people like this and blah blah blah, he might quit too. So I'm like, God damn it, this is not looking great. Like, anime, this is not great. This is our convention.
I know.
And it's screwing us up, and I'm kind of pissed. I'm really pissed.
It really devastates me to say this, yeah, because it really saddens me to hear this, because fanime has been my number one go-to anime convention.
It's our first convention, like our first anime convention, and to see it like fail, like falling down the drain, it just tells me like this might not last longer anymore.
Yeah, of course, like you said, Nate, we're going to touch upon this in a later episode. But yeah, from what I've seen, from what I've heard about that particular topic, it makes me think that this actually might, keyword being might, that depends on how management goes, might be my last year of fanime.
I really hope not.
Personally.
I really hope not. I just hope that they do better, but we'll explain that in another episode. Then on Sunday, like we watched Demon Slayer and we watched that, so that's it. That's pretty much explained. But I also do want to emphasize on what happened on Saturday, and we're going to talk about it right now. There was this stream that happened on Saturday called the Operation Happification stream. This had all of the Ghost and Molly McGee fans going all over this place. Now, this was run by Sunnyland Productions and the Ghost and Molly McGee fan server, and it was presented by who are the names again? Rebecca Parham and Man Lightfoot. To sort of say the least, like for those who are watching on YouTube, this was a 6-hour stream involving most of the cast and crew that were on the Ghost and Molly McGee. You had Bill Motz and Bob Roth in the stream. You had Sammy Crowley, who was writing for The Loud House, also wrote for Ghost and Molly McGee. She was also there too. Lara J. Miller, she was the voice of Lisa. She's also the voice of Libby. And also surprise too, the voice of Daryl was actually there too. And if you don't know Daryl's voice, she's also the voice of V from Owl House and also the voice of Amethyst from Steven Universe. Yeah, so there's a big cast. There was a big long cast thing that was going on in this Operation Happification stream, but I was able to try to watch it. If anything, it was 6 hours long, and I can't be able to watch it. But were you able to see the whole 6 hours, or were you able to just see part of it?
I saw some parts of it, some bits and pieces here and there. Obviously, I didn't watch the 6 hours myself because, well, it's 6 freaking hours.
Yeah, exactly.
But from what I've seen, it really did look like the co-hosts as well as the cast and crew and the fan artists of Ghost and Molly McGee, they really had a blast with this.
Here's the thing, like, it's more towards like writers, staff, like people who are like voicing in the show, people who are pretty much involved in the show. I think it's just more of a big reunion for those who worked on the Ghost and Molly McGee, just because it was a great show. It just ended up cut short because of the decisions made by Disney, which is kind of unfortunate. Because I had a feeling, because like throughout that stream, they were actually bringing up big secrets about like what was going to happen in season 3, for example. Like if they actually continue on with season 3, they would have had a lot more lore that we could have actually watched, you know?
And also, not to mention, more development for Andrea Davenport.
Well, Andrea's girlfriend would actually be presented.
Yeah, and see that's why I said I kept saying that the Ghost of Molly McGee needed a season 3 because there was so much to do. There's so much you can work with in terms of the ghost world and also more of the characters to explore and the characters that needed extra amount, even more depth. Like I said, Andrea, for example, like there was so much that you could do that a season 3 I felt would have completed the series. I would have made the show feel complete.
I feel like that as well because when you finished up that what was it? There's that one episode where Molly versus it was Jinx versus the human world. That was supposed to be a season 2 finale, I think, to me. And there could have been more episodes in between that and the end. And there could have been your episodes that would have actually like explored more of the lore that would happen with the Ghost of Molly McGee, like Molly McGee episodes, Libby episodes, Andrea episodes, and maybe Andrea could be a part of that team. But it sucks because like there's more development in these other characters that could have happened in the Ghost of Molly McGee, but no, we ended up just getting really cut short when it came to that.
Jinx versus the human world would have benefited from being a 1 hour season finale as opposed to just a 30-minute episode to come before the series finale.
Yeah, exactly. But we already explained about this before. It looked like it felt too rushed to me. So yeah.
It definitely felt like one of those that you just press fast forward. Like it felt rushed.
Okay. Nonetheless, they had so much ideas for season 3 that at least Sammy Crowley, Bill and Bob were all there just to at least explain what they would have. And we did get treated out with a lot of things that they said. Like, for example, Andrea's girlfriend would have been introduced. We could have seen Alia Webster for the first time. She may have been in a picture in season 2, but we would have seen like Andrea and Alina actually having a good relationship together. Maybe more of Molly and Ollie, and then other like big episodes. But to be fair, like they kind of did leak the script out on Twitter and X. So. We were not surprised, but to be fair, it's great to hear that from the staff that said, like, we had so much more ready going for the Ghost of Molly McGee.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is that it's not any of the staff's fault or anything like that. It's just that their show got screwed over by Disney.
Oh, yeah.
That's what it came down to.
Well, it's more toward... Well, yeah, there was also that, and then, I don't know. It's just more of a big corporate decision in the list. It kind of sucks, but...
It's a corporate
They did get cut short. I really feel bad for the Ghost of Molly McGee crew. I really hope they... Like, we can't bring the show back, unfortunately... But I really wanted to see those ideas come to life and actually become episodes because they were really interesting to hear. So let's actually talk about the whole donation, the whole Operation Amplification, whole fundraiser. Again, it was 6 hours long, and the donations were all going to be given to this nonprofit organization called Give Kids the World. Now, this is a storybook resort where critically ill children and their families will get a week-long vacation, all cost-free. What are your thoughts about the whole fundraiser that the organizers were making here?
I think that this is a really wonderful thing, and it really does capture the inhabitification spirit that the show has, because here we have a charity stream that really does help benefit the sick, and especially sick children and their families, to make sure that the children can have a really good time on where they go, and also their families. So I really like that, and it's especially helped by the fact of how it's Ghost of Molly McGee themed, and this is something that Molly McGee herself would do. So while the series may be over, while it may be cut short, it shows how the inhabitification spirit of the show lives on.
So I actually didn't know about what Give Kids the World was, but it is apparently a theme park for the critically ill kids, and it actually is like a resort, so like they can also stay in one of those hotels that were there too, which I think is still pretty neat. They have their own like park and stuff, and it's all nonprofit. Like donations are the ones that are helping make this park like a thing for all those that need it for sure. I also noticed that this is not the only fundraiser that done this before. If you watch the Funkland, they did a fundraiser also to the same nonprofit organization as well. So
yeah, so
it's not like so it's apparently like a big thing. So it's great to hear that. I feel like it's like a whole Disney affiliated thing. So like if Disney fans know about this one nonprofit, they'll help make this better by giving all of the money, give all of our donations out to them. So yeah. So a lot of donations have been a lot of donations have been given out throughout the whole stream, including us, for example. If you have seen that short that I made, we did donate $100 to the Give the Kids the World Foundation, but it wasn't comparable to, well, Ashley Birch, the voice of Molly McGee, because she gave $5,000 out, man. I mean, yeah, 5,000.
You heard it here, ladies and gentlemen. 5K.
Yeah, she donated 5K herself, and she also did a video shout out from Thailand, actually. So she was actually in Thailand when she was actually giving 5K out to them. Wow.
Yeah, and going back to what I was saying about, the show spirit really helping out with this charity stream. Now, we all know, of course, that Ashley Burge does voice Molly McGee, and it really does fit so well because this is something Molly McGee herself would do. And to see Ashley Burge give this amount of money to this charity, it really does show how she doesn't just play Molly McGee, she is Molly McGee. And this shows how she's Molly McGee.
I'm not surprised about it, too, considering that she is Molly McGee, so she's kind of representing the fact that she is Molly McGee and saying, hey, I'll give you guys big money for it. And also the fact that she's done a lot of voice acting roles. So I'm assuming that that money does pay off in order to help the folks in the Give the Kids the World Foundation.
Yeah, when you voice when you voice such an iconic main character in a Disney TVA show, it really does pay the big bucks. So it's good to know that she used the big bucks to pay for a good cause.
Mm-hmm. Now, they didn't reach their goal, unfortunately, of $25,000, but they did reach over $10,000 in donations. Your thoughts on how much money was raised in order for this donation to happen?
Now, of course, while it didn't reach the exact goal, I feel like $10,000 dollars. I feel like that's definitely a good enough amount of money to help with this. Because $10,000 shows how it's a lot of money being donated from a lot of people, including us and Ashley Birch and all this stuff. And I feel like they made great progress.
Yeah, and I know that the person who was running Sunnyland Productions, I'm actually in a Discord server with them. He seems like a pretty nice guy. And also the fact that you keep on bringing up that that Molly McGee plushie everywhere with you. And to be fair, it's actually cool to actually see Molly McGee in Disneyland or Molly McGee in Disney World. So she's having fun. She's happifying Disneyland. Yes. But yeah, it looks like you're a pretty cool dude, by the way. So thanks again, Sunnyland Productions, and those who worked on the Ghost of Molly McGee fan server for presenting this. By the way, it's just awesome. Let's talk about the crew that were actually there. So we have the presenters, Rebecca Parham and Man Lightfoot. Do you know them? Because I actually don't.
I'm familiar with Man of a Thousand Thoughts. I've watched some of the videos before, but I'm not fully familiar with Rebecca.
I don't know any of them, to be fair. So if you know Man Lightfoot, what does he do in YouTube?
He pretty much makes animation thoughts and animation reviews. Like I said before, I haven't watched him nearly as much as I should, but after this, I'm actually interested to see, both of the co-host material.
I wonder how they are, but it's kind of cool that they are all Molly McGee fans, and they were gonna present to all the Molly McGee crew and staffers working together and everything. The folks there that were presented, obviously, were Bill and Bob. They're the creators of the Ghost of Molly McGee. We also do have some of the voice actors that were also there, like Data Snyder, who voices Scratch. Michael Dietz. Who's Michael Dietz again? I forgot.
Michael Dietz was... I have to look it up, but it may be the voice of Ollie, but I could be wrong.
I think it might be Ollie, yeah. Larry J. Miller, you know her.
Libby,
I miss Libby. She's my favorite. And also a couple of writers were also there as well, like Sammy Crowley and Paul Chang, to name a few. So what are your thoughts on seeing them all together for this special occasion?
What I love about this is that they managed to make a combination of a charity stream and a celebration of a beloved show that they worked on, known as The Ghost of Molly McGee. They managed to blend it all together, and it made for a fun 6-hour experience for them.
Yeah. And to be fair, for those who are watching for that 6-hour stream, I do dedicate you for actually watching those 6 hours. But there are some things that were actually made it fun, at least for us to see. I mean, they did a whole tutorial on how to draw characters. They did a game called Scribble, which I thought was also fun to see. Showing fan arts and stuff here and there. So if anything, it's cool to actually have those things presented during that stream. So it kind of tells you some representation of fans that are out there saying, hey, we love the Ghost of Molly McGee. It sucks that it ends, but we're here to help out with and happifying just like what Molly McGee is doing. So yeah.
Yeah, and you could tell that they had so much fun with it. Like, they had so much fun interacting with each other, sharing fan art, sharing their favorite moments, and all that good stuff.
Well, I mean, the stream looked like it was actually pretty fun. I thought that was, again, I was doing my own thing here and there. I actually was making that video of us donating that $100 to the Habification Project. So, so I couldn't be able to actually watch the whole entire stream, but I had it in my background. So it was like, I was recording video, like literally, so like when I was making that whole short, I was literally having a video right in front of me, like a camera right in front of me in order for me to actually talk, have the microphone next to me. And I literally was impromptu. So I had to make like so many takes in order for me to actually say those words that we're going to donate $100 to the Operation and Amplification fundraiser. But yeah.
Yeah, I saw the video, and it was really well put together, and I especially dug the background music playing as you were saying the words, too.
Yeah, I mean, I had to take that clip out. I'm like, what would be a good theme song to actually put up for that video? And it made sense. The ending of The Ghost of Molly McGee, it's really fun and lively, you know?
Fun, lively, and happifying.
Yeah. So, I got nothing much to say about the Operation Amplification fundraiser. Anything else you want to talk about for it?
Yeah, I just want to say there's nothing much I could say except, like, I'm very happy that this happened. Like, this pretty much benefits everyone. It benefits, the ill children. It benefits the ill children's families. It benefits, the Ghost of Molly McGee, staff, fans, and co-hosts and all that. This is a thing that benefited everyone, and I'm so glad this happened.
Yeah, so thank you very much for those who worked on the Ghost of Molly McGee, who worked on this fundraiser, who helped present it to all the fans of the Ghost of Molly McGee. It was a great fundraiser to help give the kids the world, and their nonprofit organization. If anything, we're helping them out in order for them to have a fun time over in Central Florida. And yeah, I got not much to say. Thank you guys for doing it, and I hope we could do another fundraiser again because we'd love to donate to those who definitely need it.
Indeed, we do.
The Ghost and Molly McGee.
Damn.
All right. So let's head over to our next subject here. And now we're going to do our first impressions on one show that has been pretty controversial throughout, everywhere right now. And even though we were fans of the cartoon, how about the live action? Let's talk about it, shall we? And let's talk about Avatar: The Last Airbender. Now, we did talk about our thoughts about Avatar: The Last Airbender. We thought it was going to be fun and going to be exciting from all the special effects here and there. But now we both watched the first 2 episodes of the Avatar: The Last Airbender live action series, and amidst the whole controversy of like how it is from good and bad, is it that great? Is it that bad, etc. It's time for us to actually portray our thoughts about this one series. Now, first off, let's talk about like this whole announcement thing. What were your thoughts as you heard about this announcement?
When I heard about this announcement, I was thinking to myself, really? Do we need another live action remake of a, beloved series? Really? Because here's the thing. The Avatar: The Last Airbender is something you just cannot touch, okay? The original series is a masterpiece of animation. And honestly, what could you really do with such a beloved series like this? Like, what could you really do with this? Like, are you going to rehash it? Are you going to make some changes? Because let me tell you, you're pretty much walking on eggshells in terms of that.
Nickelodeon was pretty much having Avatar as like their big thing. I mean, they made Avatar Studios, so they know that they were going to have a lot of things when it comes to Avatar: The Last Airbender, and lo and behold, we have the live action series. But again, there was like a lot of things that also came in, like the books of Coyote. I mean, I would imagine you have books of like the new Avatar book series, remember?
Yeah, I have The Rise of Kyoshi and Shadow of Kyoshi.
So they are making some more things to at least put in like the lore of Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yeah, there's so much you could do with the lore of Avatar: The Last Airbender, and we're getting them in all shapes and forms. Why are we getting a live action remake that is unnecessary? We don't need it.
The one thing that kind of like reminds me of when it comes to live action remakes is the M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Do not mention that to me again, please.
I know. But I mean, okay, is it that bad compared to the live action series? Hopefully not, because like it looks impressive from the first things we saw, from the trailer to the announcements and all the cast and stuff.
Now my first impressions are it's pretty much midway. Like, it's not nearly as good as the original Avatar so far. Remember, first 2 episodes means first impressions. Like, so far, Not nearly as good as the original, but not nearly as bad as that either.
So the thing is that when so many announcements came out when it came to like the news about the Avatar: Last Airbender live action series, you kind of feel like, is it going to be good? Because there were some things that kind of made you feel like it may not be good. Like, for example, the creators of Avatar: The Last Airbender ended up like not being a part of the live action series. Asaka having some changes here and there for his character, and a lot of things that pretty much says like when you go into the first episode of Avatar: The Last Airbender, are we really going to be watching something that's going to be reflecting towards the series, the animated series, the original series?
Now, here's the thing. The trailers did look epic, but those could be deceiving. Beyond the trailers, I saw some particular red flags. Like you said, you just pointed out that the creators left, which is a massive red flag. Like, oh my gosh. It shows how dissatisfied they were with how Netflix was handling the series. And you know what? You know, if I end up hating them, I'm just like, okay, I don't blame them for leaving anymore. And then, of course, you know, there's Sokka we're going to touch upon later. And then you got them saying, oh, they want Avatar Last Ever to be like Game of Thrones. I'm just like, why?
Wait, where true to that?
The sources tell me that I've seen from sources saying that.
Well, I never heard of this particular news. Where did you hear this from?
Like they want to take inspiration from Game of Thrones. It was from an article.
How could that be Game of Thrones when it's like?
That's what I'm asking.
Is it because Avatar he's the last Airbender? He is the Avatar. Is that the reason why we're kind of calling it Game of Thrones or something?
I don't know why. Like I'm pretty perplexed by this because of the fact of how why? Is it because, it's a live action fantasy setting or something like that? Oh, it has action epic scenes with some fire and all that stuff. It's like, what exactly do they mean when they say, it's going to be like Game of Thrones? I'm just like, you know, I really hope that you try to be like the original. Don't be like anything else, just be like the original.
I don't know what newest article you're talking about because I've never seen that one. It might be some sort of unreliable source to me. So it could be a fan source instead. So I don't know. It's interesting how I heard that just now.
I forget which article. Like I found it somewhere on like, you know, social media. Then there was this like link to a particular, you know, journaling site. But yeah, I've been seeing videos too. Like I've seen one video saying why this is a bad idea and all this stuff.
That was beginning before the series started, right?
That announcement was before the series started. Netflix series started.
See, coming into this, when I heard about the whole controversial stuff here and there, I was like, you know what? I kind of like try to ignore the fact about that. If anything, like, let me come in with a fresh mind. Like, let me be a person that maybe, say, for example, have not seen the Avatar: The Last Airbender series, okay? And let me go in and see how this goes. So, hence why we started watching the show. And again, I have some opinions when it comes to it, but we'll talk about that later. Let's actually talk about, do you want to go to an episode review or not?
We'll touch upon the first two episodes, sure.
Yeah. So, I kind of don't want to go break it down in every single thing of the episode. It's just more towards like...
We're going to touch upon the pros and cons
of
the first two, like, generally.
That's what I'm going to say. So, let's actually talk about, like, certain things that I noticed. First off, originality. First episode, I don't think it actually was original that we actually get to see how Aang literally was in that block of ice. Because when you saw in the animated series, he was already in a block of ice. But like in the live action series, we see how he became the quote avatar, or how he became the block in that block of ice or stuff. What were your thoughts on that being the first thing you saw in the live action series?
In terms of that, I sort of have mixed feelings about it. Like, okay, on one hand, I do like how they're establishing and introducing the character of Aang in the Netflix live action show by, you know, telling us his origins, where he came from, his relationship with his friendship with Gyatso and the other airbenders. I like that because it really does, you know, give us information on where he came from and all that stuff. But on the other hand, though, it sort of takes away the mystery aspect of the character.
Yeah.
Because when you see the first scene of the original, you see Sokka and Katara, they go fishing, and then they stumble upon a boy in an iceberg. And then once the iceberg breaks, and then, you know, Aang pretty much collapses, and Aang and Katara Sokka pretty much get to know each other. Like, you're left wondering, who is this boy? Just like Sokka and Katara are. And, each episode builds upon Aang's character properly.
The beginning was weird because in the animated series, that whole origin story of Aang was actually further into season 1. I don't know. Like, I feel like it was okay because it kind of tells you, like, Aang was meant to be the Avatar when he was announced back in, when the Air Temple was still alive, to say. When you actually saw the animated series, the Air Temple was gone, and he was the last Airbender.
Yeah, hence the title Avatar: The Last Airbender. Now, there was this episode of season 1 called The Storm, which did touch upon Aang and his origins, where he came from, back when the Air Temple was still alive, like way before the Fire Nation invaded them. And I thought that was really touching. That was really wholesome. But I do like what they did here too. On its own, they do introduce the character fine, and Gyatso still is such a wonderful father figure to Aang. Saying, "You are my friend. You're meant to be great," and all that stuff. And also, however, that's not the only key difference between the 2 episodes from each series. There's also the fact of how you pretty much you actually see the Fire Nation actually do invade the Air Temple.
Yeah.
It's on camera.
So if anything, it does tell you, like, how the Air Temple ended up, like, being destroyed by the Fire Nation. Yeah. And it was all detailed, and it was kind of sad to actually see it, because, like, you saw, like, people getting, like, hurt, getting killed in the matter too. I mean, Gyoza, for example, did die, and it was sad when you saw that in the first episode of Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yeah, you can't help but feel. You can't help but feel bad for those poor airbenders that are facing the wrath of the Fire Nation.
Because it was all preemptive. Like, they didn't know that they were going to invade. They knew that there was a war happening, but they didn't know they were going to invade that quickly. It was at a nighttime event, so I would imagine everybody was not prepared to see the Fire Nation attack the Air Temple. And lo and behold, when you saw what happened, like right in the first scene of the first episode, it was like, oh, the airbenders are gone.
Yeah, and that's when you see the everything changed with the Fire Nation attacked line come into full play.
How do you feel about the grandma saying that?
I feel like while she did her best, it doesn't compare to how it was all said during Katara's introduction and the Avatar Airbender opening.
Well, she always says that every time in every opening of the episode.
She says it every time, and that's the thing. It's like I do like that the grandma is saying it with with such
remorse,
deep, with such remorse and depth, but it doesn't compare to Katara saying it in the Avatar: Last Airbender opening every episode. But the grandma does give it her best. She does give her all, and
she was the one who would probably lived throughout those 100 years. Remember, like, according to what the tale says, and even in the introduction of Avatar: The Last Airbender, we heard about the whole Fire Nation attacking. The Avatar, only the Avatar, master of all 4 elements, can be able to withstand the war, but when we needed him most, he vanished. And this is what happened to Aang. Yeah. Like, so I do like the fact that this whole introduction that came in when we see Aang get frozen in that block of ice, when the Avatar powers start to come in and he starts to become engorged in that ice ball for 100 years. Apparently it's 100 years. I'm like, wow.
It was 100 years. Yeah, it was.
100 years have passed, and they couldn't find him until Sokka and Katara was able to find him in that, like, while they were like fishing or something. So if anything, it does kind of like have that originality here and there, but I think it also did talk more about like what could be. Like, I know that in that one episode, The Storm didn't really explain a lot, like how the Air Temple got destroyed and how Aang got into that bowl of ice, to say.
Yeah, so I think that's where I have to give the live action episode, credit, is that it really did try to, introduce us to Aang in its own way. Like, it took its own direction. And I think that it stayed true to the characters who are being, portrayed in the live action. While the story may have altered, it's the characters, how they're written, that really does, from what I've seen so far, that really does stay true to the spirit of the original.
Exactly, yeah. And then when I look back at the first episode, I feel like it really did portray the first 3 episodes of, Avatar: The Last Airbender animated series, because it started off in that village. The Fire Nation did attack that village. And then we do go back to the Air Temple where everything was destroyed, and we get to see Aang, become the Avatar. We get to see him, get enraged when he knew that the Air Temple was gone. His powers goes unleashed. That literally happened those first 3 episodes.
That scene in the Southern Air Temple where Aang finds the skeletons of the airbenders that died, and then Aang looks with such remorse at first, but then he grows angry. Thus, his anger, consumes him, and it makes him go into the Avatar state. My God, it is just, my heart was pouring for the poor guy.
I know, exactly. And then, it showed a lot well. It showed well over the animated series, but it showed a lot more, really good remorse and really good, passion when I saw that part happen. When you see Aang just get all sad, he gets angry because he's like, oh my God, why? And then because he's the last airbender. Yeah, I mean, it really does a good job when it came to that.
Yeah, that's what I will say is that in terms of the scenes that, that pretty much repeat the scenes of the original series, I do feel like for the most part they really do nail the mood, the tone, the atmosphere, and dare I say it, some of the acting is pretty good.
That's what I'm saying, yeah, but we'll talk more about that later. Again, I want to go back to originality, because when we go back to the second episode of Avatar: The Last Airbender, the live action series, we now go to the Kyoshi Island, and we get to see the Kyoshi warriors, and we also get to hear about Kyoshi herself. How do you feel about how they portrayed the Kyoshi warriors and Kyoshi herself? Let's talk about that first.
Of course, they portrayed the Kyoshi warriors as the same badass women that we have seen in the original, from the acting and all the way down to especially the choreography. They really do nail down the choreography of the fighting moves, and practicing the battle moves that have taken place in the Kyoshi village. They really do nail down the choreography down to a T, and also they really look authentic with the makeup.
I do love the whole makeup part too, because it made them look like those Kyoshi warriors that you saw. Suki, for example, and those other warriors in the Kyoshi warriors part. It was pretty cool.
And also they capture the fierce attitude of the Kyoshi warriors as well, especially Suki.
Yeah, exactly. Well, she's the leader of it all, so yeah. You get to see the village mother, who's also Suki's mom. And also this one interaction between Suki and Sokka. I know that was also a part of the animated series, but how do you feel about that?
Okay, I'm just gonna say this right now. I do not like what they did with Sokka here in this Netflix live action show. I really don't understand why they took away a particular aspect of Sokka, because here's the thing though. Sokka's sexism in the original is actually what makes him a more three-dimensional character, because it gives him a flaw to work on. It gives him a flaw to work on and grow from, which makes him a more well-rounded character.
The first time I saw Sokka in that episode, he was just more of being a flirty to Suki. And then when you see Suki and Sokka again, you feel like there's a connection between both of them. And then you get to see them actually become, well, she kissed him in the end.
Yeah, and I think that's the problem with this is that due to them removing Sokka's sexism in the live action show, it sort of, it sort of takes away the value of Suki and Sokka's relationship, because it's Sokka pretty much learning that women could be as capable of fighting as the men, and Sokka, through fighting, practicing with Suki, learns to form a bond, and it's Suki who helps Sokka learn the lesson.
Well, is that supposed to be the meaning though? Women can also fight?
It's also supposed to be that particular message to the original definitely enhances it.
Yeah. So I don't know. When I first saw Sokka, I understand he was a flirtatious dude when he wanted to talk to Suki like that. and then I just saw him become like a weakling or something.
And
Like,
that's kind of thing, like, with Sokka's motivation, like with Sokka's mindset while practicing Suki is, oh, I just want to be a better leader, and I'm just like, that's sort of that's not a strong enough of a motivation or flaw to work with. It's not nearly as strong as what he had come to learn in the original.
yeah, okay, so I understand your point there, but nonetheless, I mean, they kind of did really put emphasis on the Suki Sokka relationship right then and there. And I thought that was just an ongoing thing in the first season, right? Because they kept on becoming sort of like in that relationship
Oh, yeah.
as you continued on with the animated series. So I know it's just the first episode, but it feels like they're already going it off in a hitch already.
Yep. Well, I mean, in the original, they were pretty on off, and the reason why I say off is because, well, Sokka pretty much falls in love with a certain moon girl later on in the original. So.
But that will come up later. I
Will come
think
up
will
later.
come up later because we haven't seen the rest of the series, but I know that'll come up in season 1. I'm pretty sure it will.
It will, but I'm not saying what's gonna happen beyond the first 2 episodes I've seen in the Netflix show. I'm just saying what happens in the original.
Yeah. Well, obviously, that's one flaw that I already pointed out. Sokka is not the same compared to the animated series. He's not like the really strong, manly guy that we thought he was, like in the animated series compared to the live action series. So there was that. But there was also a particular scene in the second episode that kind of threw me off. Was Kyoshi actually appeared in that episode? Did Kyoshi appear in the animated series as the Avatar?
I remember Kyoshi has talked to Aang at some point in the series. It was definitely during season 3, but I'm just gonna go ahead and say Kyoshi was such a badass warrior.
Yeah,
in
yeah.
this.
I'm trying to look back and see did Kyoshi pop up out of that fight? Like when the Fire Nation was attacking the Kyoshi Island.
When the Fire Nation was attacking the Kyoshi Island, I'd have to go back and look at.
Yeah, because I don't
episode.
remember. Because that was such a groundbreaking thing. And I'm like, wait, a spirit of the Avatar can come up and actually fight, along, even though he's the Avatar.
Yeah, that's something that kind of threw me off by surprise. Keep in mind, it's been a while since I've seen the original.
I know. It's been a while since I've seen it too, but it was just something that I was shocked about. I'm like, whoa, Kyoshi, out of all people, now coming in, just starting to, be the peace in mind here.
Yeah, but looking at this episode on its own, Kyoshi really did her part in being a strong warrior.
She was the Avatar before Aang was. So
and it really does show she still has that spirit, that strong fighting spirit in her, and we've seen it in her battle with the Fire Nation.
Yeah, and we see that right there in that first episode. But yeah, I mean, it is a kind of a cool thing to see that Kyoshi and Aang are linking up just in order for them to say, hey, Aang is the Avatar. He needs to learn, obviously. And that pretty much is it from the whole first 2 episodes that we saw. So I would say for when it comes to originality, there are some things that happen here and there that kind of feels flawed, but kind of accurate. I would say pretty accurate still.
Yeah, like I said before, it's pretty much a combination of both the good and the bad. I mean, you look at both the good and the bad aspects of the first 2 episodes, you get something that you hope that it turns out to be promising. But there is a chance that it could not be that great. But
Yeah.
like I said, since it's the first 2 episodes, it's too early for me to decide.
Yeah, but to be fair, I may not seen the rest because I know there's 9 episodes of Avatar: The Last Airbender, the live action series. But to be fair, they are pretty accurate when it came to comparing the live action versus the animated series. So I say pretty accurate, but with more episodes to go, maybe they might throw it off here and there. We'll see. Let's actually talk about the characters themselves, like the live action characters versus the animated characters. I have to say this. I think they did put up a good cast of live actors comparing to the animated series. Your thoughts on the live action actors?
Yeah, each and every character definitely looks the part of their animated counterparts. Especially when you got Zuko, who actually has a legit authentic scar in him. It's not just a burn that you see in that. It's actually a full-on legit red burn that you see right there.
It's more towards makeup, but to be fair, the makeup kind of does seem that he has a big scar right there.
You got to give props to the makeup crew for doing this. Not only that, but also the costume designers. Like they really do a really great job of making the costumes authentic to the original.
I mean, if anything, like Aang looks like Aang. Katara. I mean, she looks like a more petite, younger Katara, but the way I'm kind of seeing like Katara's actress, like maybe a little bit more scenes here and there, but I feel like she may not portray her that well compared to the Katara that we know in the animated series.
Oh yeah, no one can surpass Mae Whitman. Mae Whitman will always be Katara.
Well, she's not the voice actor.
No, but like
she's a voice actor.
no, Mae Whitman.
I'm trying to portray the animated character herself compared to the live action character because I feel like she's just an innocent girl. She's not like the fighting girl that we know from as Katara. From the animated
you're
series.
still on the appearance of that.
Yes, well, it's more like comparing the character to the animated character. You know, I kind of don't like Katara's character at the live action.
No, I always say like I think that Katara, I think Katara looks fine, but then again, this is just an appearance thing. Where,
it's not more appearance thing, but it's more like character wise too. Like, can the live actress be same as comparable to the Katara that is in the animated series? You know.
Like I said before, it's one of those things where it's like, you've seen the first two and, like on the one hand, they do their best and they manage to pull off the appearances and the characters. But on the other hand, there is such a thing as looks can be deceiving. And so, it's too early to tell.
I have a feeling like maybe a little bit more episodes coming in for Katara. Maybe the actress who's doing the live action can do a little bit better. But it's been lackluster to say when I see her at the moment. So I'm just putting it out there. Sokka is not bad, okay? Even though he has that sexist thing that may have been missed out when it came to that particular show, he still looks like Sokka. He leads like Sokka. He is the leader of that village, and he knows what to do. I feel like it's not bad for a character like Sokka to compare him with the animated series.
Not only that, but they also keep his, snarky, sarcastic, and comedic side to Sokka.
Yeah, exactly.
As well.
He's still funny and all that jazz. It's still Sokka himself. But I feel like the best character, though, is Zuko. He does a good job being Zuko, being the person that wants the Avatar, that wants to be back in the throne, Yeah, he could be Prince Zuko, but he's not the same Prince Zuko that was like reigning the whole thing, So
oh yeah,
and I see his like intensity. He's like angry. He really wants the Avatar. I've seen like that one scene in episode 2 where like he throws stuff around that he missed. Like he got the Avatar and then he escapes. And like, what happened? And that's cool that he's doing the right portrayal of Zuko that we see in the animated series.
Oh yeah, definitely the best of the four, just by the fact of how he captures the intensity of Zuko. He captures the intensity and he also captures the want. Like he wants to, capture the Avatar to restore the honor. Like he really does nail Zuko down to a T.
Yeah,
with his performance.
If anything, like these 4 actors and actresses are doing pretty well. Again, we'll have to see more episodes about it. But my first impressions are that all are great except for Katara. Please, hopefully Katara can do a better job. We'll see. Again, my first impressions on those actors and actresses. How about there are other characters though, like General Iroh. You had what was it? The people also in that village too. Gran, for example, she was also there too. How about your thoughts on the other secondary characters in the show?
The actor who plays as General Iroh, fun fact, he was also Kim's Convenience. The actor who plays as Iroh, has such wonderful chemistry with Zuko. Like when you see Zuko and Iroh on screen together, the chemistry between the uncle and the nephew, they captured that father like son like chemistry between the two characters, and it's fun to see their interactions too, where you see Iroh like pretty much he tries to help Zuko out. He tries to be his voice of reason. And at the same time, though, he gets pretty excited about food and jasmine tea.
He does. He keeps on saying stuff about tea, like, can I offer you tea? Literally, when Aang was in that jail cell, you see, what was it? Iroh pretty much say, can I offer you tea? And I'm like,
that's Iroh. That's,
yeah.
That's
General
Iroh.
Then again, that's him. Like, he's supposed to be the funny man. Like, he was funny in the show, in the animated show. He wanted his mostly thing was tea, and then food out of all places was another thing too. So
not only is he funny, but he's also very gentle. He's very nice, and he's also such a wise man. the man can really give out some really great life advice.
Indeed, yeah, and he definitely does do a really good job with it. Yes, he's a well-known actor.
Yeah.
Yes, he is a well-known actor.
Oh god, I was imagining like Zuko's saying to Uncle Iroh, "Uncle, I'm gonna go capture the Avatar, restore my honor," and then I was like, "Okay, see you."
Okay. No more Kim's Convenience references now. This is not Kim's Convenience, okay?
I'm sorry, it was such a fun show.
I know.
Had to,
And then again, the village that Katara and Sokka were in, I feel like they did a good job portraying it. Like they were fighting to make sure the Fire Nation doesn't attack them. Gran did a good job as a portrayal. Yes, she may have doesn't have a lot of appearances in the real life show, but it was still meaningful. The fact that she actually knew about the story about the Avatar and that 100 years have passed, the war still goes on. Now they found the Avatar, and now the story now continues with the Airbender and all.
to be fair, she didn't appear that often in the original series either. She only appeared in episodes 1 and 2, but
Yeah, like what happened in the first episode, yes.
but they really do with the grandma, they do capture the wise old lady, the wise old grandmother figure to Sokka and Katara. They really do capture the nature of the character.
Yeah, and she may not have a lot of big appearances, but nonetheless, I think she's going to be more meaningful coming up later on. I mean, she gave Katara all these water movement stuff to be a waterbender, yes. But yeah, Sokka, on the other hand, he's not a waterbender. He's just a water temple person.
He's a warrior. He's a fighter.
He's a warrior, yes. That's why she was training with Suki to be a Kyoshi warrior or a warrior himself. So yes. But besides the characters, I do want to talk about the visuals, like the special effects that had them attacking with fire, with air and water. What about the backgrounds and stuff like that? How impressed were you seeing those visual effects in the show?
The visual effects, the way they capture the water and the fire and the air, they all flowed very well, and the effects definitely looked very convincing. You could tell that the visual effects team really did a good job in enhancing the intensity and the look of each of the bending.
Yes, and I also do like the fact that they're also choreographing to what you see in the animated series, all the movements that they do in order for them to attack, the airflow and all those push movements here and there.
They got the choreography right as well.
Yeah, exactly, Apple. But imagine they were training from those who actually helped made Avatar: The Last Airbender animated series become the real life thing.
Yeah, you could definitely show that. You could definitely tell they put a lot of practice to it.
Yeah, and I also do, like I said, love the visuals that they also presented. The air temple looks brilliantly amazing. Yeah.
The production design, it looks so majestic. The production design of each of the lands, such as the air temple, and then where the water tribe lives, and then you see the water village. You see the Kyoshi Island village, especially. It definitely looks like an island. It looks like a Kyoshi village. Looks like a village you want to check out.
Well, it's more towards a rural Japan sort of look that they had for Kyoshi Island.
That's what I mean. It really does feel like it's inspired by rural Japan.
Another thing too is that the Fire Nation, for example, Zuko's ship, for example. It may just be a ship on the outside looking in, but to make it look like a big ship, the whole scene where Aang tries to escape from the Fire Nation, looks pretty good to say.
Yeah, not only did they capture the exterior design in terms of the scope and the size, but the interior design looks very impressive as well. Looks very detailed.
I mean, it's just a jail cell.
It is a jail cell, but then you also see Zuko's room looks good.
Yeah, that's right, because he also made those drawings of avatars too. That's right. The one scene where he actually drew Aang and then he puts it on his wall.
Yeah, so it's not just a jail cell. It's pretty much some particular rooms you see in the ship.
Right. But besides that, I mean, overall, it does look brilliant. So, if anything, there's a lot of things, again, that we say that could be flawed, that could be bad here and there. But overall, when it comes to first impressions for Avatar: The Last Airbender, the live action series, in my case, it's not bad. I may continue on watching this series. It is 2 episodes. I only just watched the first 2 episodes of the series, but let me continue on with this series, and it might be impressive. I know some fans are kind of saying, oh, it's not that great. Oh, it's not that great. But it's my judgment. Let me see how it goes. And I say, like I said, I've been impressed. I'm impressed.
I will say that as a fan, I'm going to continue to keep on watching. Of course, I'm going to keep an open mind. I'm going to, judge for myself what things are good, what things are bad going forward.
So
Yeah.
what would be your like rating from the first impressions of Avatar: The Last Airbender?
I'm going to say a 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10. Okay. I'm not gonna put a number. I'm just gonna say like it's average.
Yeah.
Average to say.
It's average. So, like I said, not as great as the original, not as disastrous as the 2010 film
Yeah,
either.
I know that there's a lot of YouTubers that are saying like it's a disaster and stuff like that, but I don't know. I mean, it's too early to tell. First 2 episodes.
I mean, I could say we've had worse. We've had much
okay,
worse.
forget about that movie. Forget about that movie. Oh god. Yeah. Well, for those who are planning to watch Avatar: The Last Airbender, is currently on Netflix right now. All 9 episodes are available for you to watch. So go ahead and check it out on your Netflix app. All right. Now, next up, our next subject that we're going to bring up. Let's talk about the Crunchyroll Anime Awards. Yes, the Crunchyroll Anime Awards. Yes.
Yes, we are.
So, Omid, actually, give me my backpack for a second. The backpack right over there.
Oh,
All right. I so why are we doing this, by the way? Because I have something to show in this particular thing. The prize that we're going to be having tonight is a can of beer. Yes, a beloved can of beer of Stellar Artois. Yes.
I'm not surprised you picked this beer because it's your favorite.
Yeah, I mean, it's also your favorite, sorta, is it? Or is it the Corona still?
It's one of my top favorites.
Okay.
It's up there with Corona and Blue Moon.
I mean, Blue Moon is also a pretty good drink as well. All right, so let's actually sum it up because we did do a poll of like our favorite picks for the Crunchyroll Anime Awards, which we've done a couple of episodes ago. To say the least, we sucked. We sucked.
To say we sucked is a massive understatement. Like we blew hard.
Yeah, I don't know how to say it because like we were kind of relying on other candidates to take home big trophies for the anime awards, like Anime of the Year, for example, that went to another anime. Best drama, that went to another anime. That these kind of animes that we never watched, that tells us that we're not huge anime fans, unfortunately. Yeah.
Yeah. So pretty much what happened was that the anime shows, we thought would win big, like win many awards, turned out to win one each. Just one.
No. So there's a lot more things to actually bring up because I'm going to go down to each category. And we're going to react to it because I want to see like what Omid's reactions are going to be.
Without giving anything away, of course.
Yeah.
So
let's go ahead and actually start it off. Let's start off with the voice actor from the English side. You said Abby Trott. I say JYB. We both lost that. That went to Denji, Ryan Colt Levy. To
be fair, Denji is one of my favorite anime characters, so you know what? I'm happy about that.
Yeah, good. Best voice actor for Japanese. You said Denji's Japanese voice actress. I said Aaron Yeager's voice actress, but we both lost that to Satoru Gojo from Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2.
Not off to a great start, are we?
No, we're 0-2 right now, which kind of sucks, by the way. Best ending sequence. You said Spy Family. I said Zone 100. That went to Jujutsu Kaisen as the winner. And you're seeing the theme, right, guys? You're seeing the theme. Jujutsu Kaisen. What's going on here?
Oh my god! Like I said before, we sucked hard at this.
So you watched Jujutsu Kaisen or not?
I only watched the first season.
Okay, what was your impressions on that? Because I haven't seen Jujutsu Kaisen.
Jujutsu Kaisen season 1 is pretty legit, but I've heard season 2 is better. But I just haven't gotten.
You haven't just seen it, and this is going to be an ongoing theme in this Anime Awards, by the way. So I'm just bring it out there, by the way. So
it's pretty much the Crunchyroll Anime Awards, like pretty much telling us, yelling on us to like go watch Jujutsu Kaisen right now.
Yeah, I think so. Again, we'll talk more about this as we continue on with these Anime Awards. Best ending sequence. Best opening sequence. You said Oshinoko. We both said Oshinoko, actually.
Yes, we did.
And it's Jujutsu Kaisen that won that too.
Is this a JJK Awards? Or is this a Crunchyroll Anime Awards? I even feel it's a JJK Awards.
You'll see more, okay? Best score, the original, all the overall songs of the show. We both said Suzume. That was wrong. Attack on Titan won that one.
I'm surprised Suzume lost that one because that had a beautiful score.
It had a beautiful score, exactly. And I'm like, did Attack on Titan win just because of all the epic music that come up? Like, there's all the epic songs that came up. It just
might be the reason.
It felt so orchestral. Like, you can hear the orchestra in Attack on Titan.
Yeah.
So maybe that, I don't know. Jeez. Best anime song, Kickback. You said Kickback. I say You Complex. Kickback from, was it Chainsaw Man? I said Seijun Complex. That went to Idol.
Which I'm happy about because I like Idol, so.
Yeah, so that ended up winning that. Let's see. Must protect at all costs character. You said Bochi. I said Anya. I won with Anya. So I got 1 point for that. And Anya is not happy about you. Anya's not happy about you.
Go man, Anya. Go man. Also, GG.
Yeah. So yeah, Anya
Anya's staring at me
Anya
like she
won.
wants to kill me.
So Anya won. I got 1 point for that. So there you go. Let's see. Best. You know what's kind of funny? Idol was the only one that ended up winning for Oshinoko. Why did you pick Kickback over Idol?
The reason why I picked Kickback was because, I also really like Kickback, and I figured, you know what, there's got to be like something other than Idol winning. I feel like, I already picked that particular song Idol for another category, so I figured I want to mix up a little.
All right. Well, you're gonna hear about this later as we continue on with these winners. By the way, best supporting character, you said Kanarima from Oshinoko. I said Arataka from Mob Psycho 100, but that went to Jujutsu Kaisen and Satoru Gojo again. Oh,
This is the Jujutsu Kaisen Awards.
Oh, I'm not done yet. By the way, I'm not done yet. Best main character, I should have actually said this right. You said Denji. I said Bochi. That went to Luffy. Main character. Ugh,
Makes sense.
We could have picked it. I should have just picked Luffy. I even questioned it. I said Bochi could have won it, but it went to Luffy, and I'm like, God damn it.
I mean, it makes sense. Luffy is one of the most prolific anime characters in history.
Yeah, well, yeah. Nonetheless,
It makes sense.
Yeah. Nonetheless, I mean, I should have picked Luffy actually instead of Bochi. It's like, look, he might just win main character for the rest until One Piece is over, you know. Best slice of life, Bochi. We both did Bochi, and Bochi did win, so we ended up getting points for that. So yes, good stuff. Best drama, we both said Oshinoko. That went to Attack on Titan. So we have not won that one. Reed is not okay with the Attack on Titan win.
I mean, nothing against Attack on Titan, but the drama in Oshinoko was heavy hitting. Okay,
It was heavy hitting, and I also
kidding?
ride on the Oshinoko train too. But Attack on Titan, I think, had a bigger, deeper meaning or something. I don't know. Or the fans were just huge on Attack on Titan. I don't know.
Oh, there was huge into Attack on Titan as the Titans themselves.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Titan size huge Attack on Titan.
Best fantasy, we both said Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer did win that, so we ended up
Yes.
getting a point for that. So I'm three. Omid's 2. So we're getting close there. Best action, you said Demon Slayer. I said One Piece. That went to Jujutsu Kaisen again. Season 2. More on Jujutsu Kaisen. By the way, like I told you, this is a theme going on here, right?
Yeah.
Right? I'm telling you. Best comedy. You said Bochi. I said Spy Family. The winner was Spy Family.
No! You're kidding me?
Yes, Spy Family
You're
won.
beating me by 2 points. Are you kidding? No way.
Spy Family won. Again, you denied on Anya. Oops, sorry, Anya. Man.
Anya, please don't. I'm already suffering enough, Anya, okay? Like, don't kill me. I've already suffered enough, okay? Come on. Actually, no. Anya's kind of smiling.
Oh, man.
Anya's kind of smiling on my suffering right
Whatever.
now.
Like, she's happy that she's having that little grin, you know, that little,
Yeah.
like when he sees Damien.
She's
yeah.
enjoying my pain. I'm not.
That was all, yeah. So I relied on Spy Family to win comedy. It was so funny. It was a great show, okay? So I knew it was going to win. Best romance, we both said My Happy Marriage. That ended up going to Horimiya, so we lost that one. Best art direction, you said Oshinoko. I said Demon Slayer. The winner was Demon Slayer. So how did you?
Wow.
How did you not? How do you not know Demon Slayer had the best art? Hello, have you seen all the action stuff and all the graphics that made Demon Slayer such an amazing show?
No,
that
but
made it look so great.
But you see the bright, vivid colors of Oshinoko, and then you see the attention to detail in each character, especially with the hair, and especially like with the glowing star on the eye pupil. I think that's what captured me more, just a bit more than the art of Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer was a close
Just
second
so
for me.
good. It looked so good. That's why I ended up picking it and I didn't get it right. So you're the one who didn't get it right there.
Apparently I picked wrong. Apparently I picked wrong.
So best cinematography, you said Demon Slayer, I said Attack on Titan. The winner was Jujutsu Kaisen season 2. Yeah. Best director, you said Bocchi, I said Attack on Titan. That went to Jujutsu Kaisen again.
I gotta catch up.
Best character design, you said Oshinoko, I said Trigun Stampede. That was Jujutsu Kaisen as well.
I'm gonna lose this, aren't I?
You're gonna say this, yeah.
I'm gonna lose this, aren't I?
Okay, here's the one thing that we both won, by the way. Best animation, we both said Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer won. Hello, those action scenes look fucking amazing, like flawless, beautiful, like the sword fighting and everything.
Again, I wanted to mix up a little. I didn't want to be biased towards one side. And towards one anime, so I want to mix up a little. And yeah, I picked Demon Slayer for animation because, well, yeah, it is Ufotable's best animation to date, especially like the fighting scenes.
Yeah, it was definitely awesome to see, and it well deserved gets that best animation award.
Yeah.
Best original anime, you said Buddy Daddies, and I said Birdie Wing, but you won that, by the way, because Buddy Daddies won.
Yes, I finally get a dub.
So you finally get a win over me.
I finally got a dub over you. Yes, in your face, but I still have 2 more to go.
Yeah. Best film, we said Suzume. Suzume won, so we both won that.
Yes.
Yeah. Best new series, you said Oshinoko. I said Zom 100, but the winner was Chainsaw Man. So
I ain't complaining. I'm a fan of Chainsaw Man as well, so I ain't complaining.
I ain't complaining either. Chainsaw Man was a really good show. Best continuing series, you said Demon Slayer. I said Spy Family. One Piece won, and I could have picked that too.
It does make sense when you consider the fact of, well, it's One Piece. Like, it's been going on
and
since
it's been
1999.
continuing on forever, yes, so.
It's been continuing on forever. It still continues to be big to this day. So, yeah, I'm not surprised that One Piece won.
Yeah. And then, last but not least, is the anime of the year. You said Oshinoko. I said Bocchi, but we both lost that, by the way.
Gee, I wonder what's going to go
And
to.
who won? Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2.
I knew it. It's Jujutsu Kaisen Anime Awards.
So it was
It's the
Jujutsu.
JJK
It
Awards.
literally was. Most of the awards that was won on Saturday night. Literally, okay, so I don't know if it was worth it if I actually stayed up from 1 to 4 watching the Crunchyroll Anime Awards. But to see the fact that everything was all won by Jujutsu Kaisen, I'm like, I missed out on way too much Jujutsu Kaisen now.
It's heavily biased towards one anime. That's the problem. Like, I feel like there was an imbalance of awards.
I was thinking because, like, last year, the anime of the year went to Cyberpunk Edge Runners. And I think that was like, oh my god, Cyberpunk Edge Runners, that was out of the bloom and everybody loved it. Like, why don't we have that in the Crunchyroll Awards? We did that before. Made in Abyss, for example, won unsurprising, like, in a surprise. Like, there are some winners out there that, like, were surprising. Like, again, Made in Abyss and
Yuri on Ice was also surprising.
No, that wasn't surprise. That wasn't a surprise, dude.
Really?
That was Yuri on Ice's year. Everything was also won by Yuri on Ice that year.
Because there was a big anime to come out from that year as well, like Mob Psycho and My Hero Academia.
But the fans were all into Yuri on Ice, and everyone voted Yuri on Ice back then. So I'm not surprised about that.
Okay, well, that's true.
Yeah,
but I'm
but-
saying in terms of competition.
Yeah,
I mean.
but then you see the other award winners that won Anime of the Year. You got Jujutsu Kaisen winning that 2021. You saw Demon Slayer won 2019. And then you saw, well, there's some other surprises. Like, for example, Devilman Crybaby, that won Anime of the Year. So,
Which I still haven't seen, by the way. Have you?
No, I haven't seen it either. I'm just saying, like, I thought there was going to be a surprise this year. And I thought Bocchi, Oshinoko, any of those, like, big animes that are not from Crunchyroll's library could be able to win. But again, the fans have decided. I would say quote unquote fans. I was assuming somebody behind the scenes is actually making some bigger adjustments to actually vote like another anime to be better than like whatever's on Crunchyroll's library. But no, Jujutsu Kaisen won.
Yeah,
and
that's the problem is that it made the Crunchyroll Anime Awards Anime of the Year outcome very predictable.
it was just I mean, yeah, it was just whatever. I mean, it makes me think like I have to watch Jujutsu Kaisen now. I haven't seen it at all, to be fair. So
Yeah, so you got a lot of catch up to.
I know I need to see Adam MacArthur's character. Yes, he's the main he's the main guy, Yuji. Yes.
Yeah. You get to see Marco Diaz as an anime character.
Yes. He's done a great job with it. And the whole final score was that I have 6 wins and Omid has 4. And I end up getting a beer to start things off.
Take it away.
Yes.
Drink it up.
It's going to be a nice one today.
Chug, 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 chug,
This
chug.
is huge. Forget it. I'm not going to chug this shit.
Want to try?
Omid, knowing the fact that, again, you were riding on the Oshinoko train. Most of your picks were Oshinoko. But now, knowing the fact that it was all Jujutsu Kaisen, what were your thoughts on just the fact that this Anime Awards was just not on your favor?
The fact that this Anime Awards wasn't on my favor, I'm going to be honest, while I was let down, I haven't seen Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2, so I can't really compare, JJK Season 2 to Oshinoko because, well, I've seen one and not the other. It's one of those things where I'm just like, I have to see it for myself and determine for myself, like, okay, is it really deserving of these awards, or do I think, it should have gone to Oshinoko or Bocchi the Rock?
Well, you said this like while we were talking that Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2 was actually good, like better than Season 1.
No, that's what I've heard.
Yeah, you've heard it. So that means the fans of Jujutsu Kaisen absolutely agree that it's actually better than Season 1.
That's what, yeah, and like I said, that is the grand majority of anime fans saying this, but it's something I have to see for myself. Like I said, I'm just like, are they right? Is it really? Does it surpass Season 1? I'll have to see.
Well, no matter what, it was a Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2 Anime Awards, which, again, I told you about this before. We talked about this in this episode, but the freaking, bias that happens in the Crunchyroll Anime Awards. And we should have seen that coming literally this year. We kind of blew it off because we were thinking, we could expecting these things to win, but no, we didn't. And it ended up kicking us in the butt with the fact that Jujutsu Kaisen won everything.
It was just me latching on to hope. That's why
Yeah,
I
was thinking it too, and yet again, JJK wins everything. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, JJK, it pretty much grabbed a broom and just swept.
Yeah, it definitely did sweep us off our feet there. But yes, so I ended up winning it. I ended up getting a beer for that win. It feels so good, guys. Well, here's the thing. Next week, Oscars.
Yes.
So,
next week is the Oscars. That is right.
So we have our pool for that as well. So we have another beer ready for you, just in case you win that too.
Hopefully I get the win, and hopefully you see me chug some good beer.
Yeah, I'm not chugging this shit, dude. I have to drive home. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, that's true.
It's just more of a chill beer right now. So yeah. Besides that, there are some highlights that came up for the Anime Awards. Miss Marvel, the actress of Miss Marvel, she presented the best character design, which I thought was pretty cool. Having some Americans head over to Japan and present, that's pretty neat. Lisa, the singer of many of your anime songs, presented best original anime. Did you expect this though? Phil Lord and Chris Miller presenting best animation.
Phil Lord and Chris Miller, that is something that wasn't entirely impossible when you consider the fact of how Phil Lord and Chris Miller are passionate about animation and they view animation as an art form. It makes me think, Phil Lord and Chris Miller, I do picture them doing this. So,
well, it was just I was surprised because I knew that they were good presenters, but I was like, they're not in Japan. There literally was taping right in America. But I feel like it was just because the Oscars were happening soon, and that's the reason why they decided to just do it.
Yeah, that is true. They got to be present when, or if, Across the Spider-Verse wins Best Animated
I have a feeling it will. Yeah. Sorry, Boy and the Heron.
I said if.
Yeah. Let's see. There was a performance of Battle Cry, but with Shingo 2, who sang the song, by the way. It was also the 20th anniversary of Samurai Champloo. I'm like, oh my god, 20 years.
20 years. And let me tell you, he really nailed Battle Cry. Nuji Bees would be proud. He really did honor the 20th anniversary of Samurai Champloo by, singing with such passion. Some days, some nights, some live, some die the way of the samurai.
Well, to be fair, it makes me feel like, wait, that's 20 years ago since I saw Samurai Champloo. I'm old, guys.
Yeah.
Don't make me think about this now. I love that show.
I ain't getting any younger myself, so yeah.
All right. There was also a performance of hit theme songs that was like in the middle of the show. Cowboys player DeMarcus Lawrence. I didn't know he was into anime, by the way. He actually presented the best slice of life to the Crunchyroll Anime Awards. This best score was actually presented by Shingo too, so he was like a big star over at the Crunchyroll Anime Awards. So that's good to hear of that. Plus, I didn't know Shingo 2 was still performing. He's also pretty old, I would imagine.
He doesn't look that old, but he does look somewhere like middle age, I believe.
Yeah. Well, I mean, nonetheless, he's still pretty young. He can still rap.
He
Like,
still
he
got
can still
it.
rap. Yeah, he can
He
still
still
rap.
got it.
Yoasobi, the group that made the theme song to Oshinoko, they actually
Yes,
performed.
Idol. They actually performed Idol. I'm just like, that is one of the highlights for me is like that performance of Idol. I'm just like, yes.
I have a question. Did you actually get tickets to the Yoasobi concert?
I did not.
I didn't either. It sold out fast, so I'm assuming this group is huge.
Well, yeah, because the Oshinoko hype is what got the tickets selling.
Yeah, and I would imagine a lot of Oshinoko fans definitely wanted to check it out. Megan Thee Stallion presented the Anime of the Year. You know that.
Yeah, the Grammy Award winner, Megan Thee Stallion.
Yes, out of all people, I didn't know she was into anime too. Because you're thinking that she was just more of like a dirty rapper, but she actually presented anime. I'm like, what? And she cosplays too. Have you seen like some Twitter posts where she's actually cosplaying?
I actually haven't. But
She apparently cosplayed Gojo from Jujutsu Kaisen. I think that was a sign. Should have known already from the start that when she was cosplaying Jujutsu Kaisen, I was like, that's the winner, right? That's the winner.
I think that's what I like about this lineup is that there are some, unexpected people presenting an anime.
Yeah. And I love the fact that, like, we know those people, like, those are, like, well-known celebrities that come up to present and stuff. It wasn't like last year, it was just all YouTubers.
Yeah, I think it shows, how, as time passes, anime is becoming more and more mainstream.
Mm-hmm. And indeed, and that's why you see all these celebrities talking about anime and stuff. Mm-hmm. So yeah, there's that. I think the best part about the highlights when it came to the Anime Awards is the fact that the Korean director of Parasite, Bong Joon-ho, literally was there in the Anime Awards presenting the best director.
Yeah, that was.
What were your thoughts on having him? Because he was the winner of Best Director and plus also won the Best Picture award for the Oscars. So
yeah, that's what. When I saw Bong Joon-ho, I was really ecstatic. I'm just like, yes, the director of Parasite is presenting this. Mm-hmm. He's there at Crunchyroll Anime Awards. It's best of both worlds. I'm just like, yes.
Bong Joon-ho deserves it, and according to what I've heard from the whole highlights part, he's apparently thinking about making an anime in Japan soon. So Bong Joon-ho can probably make an anime for you guys soon. Watch out.
I would imagine Bong Joon-ho could cook something wonderful. Like I would imagine him putting his craft into this. Mm-hmm. I'm very confident in him.
I think he'll do a great job. He did a great job in Parasite, so I'm assuming he'll do a good job with whatever anime he's making. I don't know what he's gonna do. He's in Korea. He's doing his thing, so who knows if he's making another movie.
I wish him the best.
Yeah. And that's pretty much it when it comes to the Crunchyroll Anime Awards. Another thing I also do want to bring up, I did stay up from 1 to 4 in the morning watching the whole Crunchyroll Anime Awards. And heads up to the Crunchyroll staffers, do a better job translating. The translators that you have are really slow.
Yeah, they don't keep up with what the actual person is saying. That was the problem.
Yeah, that was a huge problem. And when I kept watching it, I'm like, dude, you're slow. You're fast. Wait. He's saying this right now. Why are you saying that now? Like you're way ahead of the presenter. I know you're supposed to be a Japanese to English dubber, but you're doing a bad job at it.
Like you're leaving the viewers confused. Like
yeah, I guess I was confused throughout most of that. And I'm like, God damn it, please work on your dubs. I know last year you had that issue too, and you didn't improve this year. So Crunchyroll, please fix that up because it would lead to a better show to watch. Okay.
Yeah, if you move the subtitles at a smooth and fixated pace, you can manage to make your translations, like I said, work better.
Indeed, yeah.
But that's feedback for next Crunchyroll Anime Awards.
Yeah, exactly, indeed. Well, to be fair, the Crunchyroll Anime Awards is over. We already went through it all. It is unfortunately tells us that we need to watch more anime.
Yeah, it shows how we're not otaku enough.
We're not weeb enough, yes. We need to watch more anime. Our tastes in animes have been pretty much biased. Me with Oshinoko. And me with, I would say Spy Family, to be fair. I actually love that show, so.
I would say you were more You were a bit more Spike's Family than Bocchi the Rock. Just a bit
Yeah,
more.
maybe because I was picking Anya, I was picking Spy Family. I did pick a lot when it comes to Bocchi. I did we wanted to win Anime of the Year just because they totally scrapped it last year. So
I mean, look what you're wearing right now.
yes, I know. I'm wearing Spy Family, y'all.
Look what you're wearing right now, so that pretty much says
Yeah,
everything.
see, I'm wearing an Anya shirt if you guys are watching on YouTube. So yeah, but yeah, I mean, the Anime Awards are here. Anything else you want to bring up when it comes to the Anime Awards?
Yes, I just want to say that, like the Crunchyroll Anime Awards, I just have to say, you might as well call it the JJK Awards from now on. Like
Well,
I said,
for
First
this,
of all,
for this year only.
and second off, Crunchyroll Anime Awards 2025. I hope that the amount of awards that it gives each anime would be more balanced, like not favoring towards one anime, but giving each anime show like a fair amount of awards.
Yeah, I mean, like what you did with a couple of years ago. I mean, you at least could have done that, but instead, this went to like all Jujutsu Kaisen. I don't know if the fans are really into this, but yeah, we just make it a fair game instead of actually having like all be in one anime. It's just that doesn't make it like a good show and all. Yeah. So yeah, the Anime Awards are over.
Yeah.
Cool. We can't wait for 2025's Anime Awards, and I'm pretty sure that's also gonna be bad.
I mean, I hope it's better. I hope it. I mean, 2025. I'm not expecting to be perfect, but I'm expecting it to improve upon the mistakes of this one.
Yeah, we'll see. I already told you guys how bad the Anime Awards were. Y'all didn't listen. Y'all didn't listen.
We didn't listen.
All right. Now let's move over to our final subject of the night. Let's talk about, yes, this particular movie, Coyote versus Acme. All right. Now, if you have been pretty much under a rock, this particular movie has been all over social media with the hashtag release Coyote vs. Acme. You've been hearing voice actors come out and say release Coyote vs. Acme. It's been all over Twitter. It's been all over Facebook. It's been all over social media, to say the least. At the moment right now, Coyote vs. Acme will not be shown anymore. It is shelved via WB, and obviously everybody is very upset about it. Omid, what were your thoughts when you heard about this unfortunate news for this particular movie?
Oh my god! Just when I thought Warner Bros. Couldn't get any worse, couldn't get any more stupid, they pull this.
Yeah.
They pretty much like just toss the movie into the bin. Like they pretty much poof, disappear. It's like, it really upsets me. It really does baffle me because of the fact of how Coyote vs. Acme, when I look at this, it does have potential. It really does have potential to work. And it really does look to be like a fun, courtroom comedy. And it's just, it really does, we're going to touch upon this later, but it's pretty much it pretty much contributes to Warner Bros.' biggest problem. I'll get to it later. But yeah, needless to say, as someone who has been a Looney Tunes fan for many years and who has been looking forward to this movie, it really does devastate me.
I looked at the fact that like how this film was going to be. It was going to be Coyote's revenge on Acme, considering that, if you've seen like those Roadrunner and Coyote shorts, he always buys stuff from Acme, and they keep on failing with him. He keeps on getting hurt. He keeps on like not getting that Roadrunner that it was going to eventually happen, right? Like, hey, this corporate lawsuit happened. Hey, why is my product's not working? It's all your fault.
Yeah, exactly. Acme is the one that manufactured these weapons, and you expect them to work. So of course Wile E. Coyote is going to sue them. And of course they're going to go against.
And to be fair, he's been doing this for how many years? Since the 1950s.
Yes, it's been a long going cartoon series. Like within the Looney Tunes, it's been a fun series of shorts that have been going on for years, and they're always a joy to watch. But yeah, I really can't blame Wile E. Coyote for wanting to sue Acme's ass.
No, exactly. And like the whole premise of the whole movie seemed to be like interesting. Like you have a lawyer that was going to represent Coyote, who was like very inexperienced. That would really suck. That was Will Forte's character right here, versus like a big corporate like CEO like John Cena. I mean, you have John Cena and Will Forte, both comedians. Like you were expecting like a huge, great comedy out of like a Looney Tunes live action movie,
And also John, like, Also, John Cena has been working closely with Warner Brothers on, several projects. Not just this, but also he was a Peacemaker. So yeah, like John Cena is pretty much the go-to Warner Bros.
Although to be
actor.
fair, like when he comes to like a big buff guy, just call John Cena. He's gonna, play everything. Like when it comes to like muscular men, yes.
John Cena.
I watch a lot of wrestling. I watch some wrestling. I know what John Cena does.
I haven't watched any wrestling, but I'm just familiar with the memes.
Look, you go to an anime convention, you'll see a John Cena cosplayer everywhere. Okay.
Not surprising. Yeah, not surprising.
So yeah, I mean, this whole film was just an absolute greatness. It looks to be fun. It looked to maybe be a great hit for Warner Brothers, but as you all know, it has been shelved. I kind of want to look back and like say what the heck happened to Coyote vs. Acme. So let's actually go ahead and backtrack here a little bit and actually talk about how this film was going to be made, how this came to be, and how this could have been a great project to watch for everybody to watch in theaters, So let's actually start it off like with the beginning, because this actually was an original idea from somebody in the New Yorker that ran in 1990. It was pretty much a Coyote literally suing Acme for pretty much all the flawed stuff here and there, blah blah blah. So after that idea was pitched out, some big names wanted to take part of the film, including James Gunn, the person who worked on Guardians of the Galaxy 3 and all of DC movies now.
Yeah, like the Suicide Squad also.
Yeah.
For one of them.
And again, we said about the awesome cast that they had, like Will Forte, John Cena, Lana Condor, and a whole lot more. Now, I mean, from the looks of the things that I've just said here, it does seem like a great idea to make Coyote vs. Acme, right?
Yeah, it really does. You got all these, pieces of the puzzle come together to make one hell of a courtroom, comedy right there. Like you got the comedians performing their roles. You also got this nice blend of animation, live action, like just from the image alone, this is a nice blend of animation, live action put together. So when you see like the images and the amount of details that you see within the plot of Coyote suing Acme, you pretty much envision, you pretty much expect that this will be a worthwhile, witty comedy.
Now, my thing is like, we've seen live action like Looney Tunes movies before. You've seen Space Jam with Michael Jordan. You've seen Looney Tunes Back in Action. And to be fair, both of them actually were pretty good. Like, Space Jam is a cult classic for me, okay?
Yeah.
I love to see Michael Jordan play against the Monstars, yes. I want to see Bugs Bunny do a great job playing basketball. And, with Lola Bunny.
Lola Loud ain't the basketball type. That's Lynn.
Yeah, that's Lynn Loud. Yes. And Daffy Duck and all those other like Looney Tunes stars playing basketball. Yes. And then you also saw Looney Tunes Back in Action, which to be fair was also not bad of a film. You saw Brendan Fraser like be the lead actor with Steve Martin being the antagonist.
Yeah, Looney Tunes Back in Action was pretty much a fun. It was a fun little movie that had the Looney Tunes interacting with the human characters, and it really did make for some breaking the fourth wall humor as well.
Although to be fair, they actually did bring up a lot of WB properties there too. I mean, you saw
I saw Shaggy.
Yeah.
Shaggy pretty much ranting to Matthew Lillard about how Matthew Lillard portrayed Shaggy in the live action movies. I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, yes, I love the comedy in this movie.
So besides that being like a Looney Tunes movie, it was more towards also Warner Brothers helping out as well. So I kind of saw that too. Like, oh, don't tell me Warner Brothers is going to be pitching a lot of their ideas in Coyote vs. Acme.
Oh, yeah.
We'll see Scooby-Doo. We'll see another Hanna-Barbera property over there maybe.
Oh, yeah. And here's the thing, though, is that when in terms of live action animation hybrids, the best way I could describe it is, like they're pretty much limitless, if you know what I mean. Because you've seen in a more recent Looney Tunes live action movie, Space Jam: A New Legacy, where it was really bad. It was bad movie, but you can pretty much you cannot deny it was a mega Warner Brothers.
It was a
crossover.
Huge Warner Brothers crossover.
Huge Warner
so
Brothers
I was
crossover.
supposed to be Space Jam like the Looney Tunes that we know, but we saw a lot of properties from WB like Kong, for example, the NBA
Iron Giants,
the NBA on TNT.
Yeah,
Out of all people, NBA on TNT was in it, and even Rick and Morty.
and they got the Iron Giant there too. Yeah,
that's what I said. Yeah.
Yeah. You also got the Flintstones.
No, I'm just saying like this is a huge WB thing going on here.
And so based on that, I think that one of the possibilities of Coyote versus Acme is that I think that it would have had more Warner Brothers properties outside Looney Tunes.
Okay, to be fair, I don't want that. Let it be like original like Looney Tunes cartoon. Like maybe you'll have Roadrunner there, obviously. Maybe have like Porky Pig, Daffy Duck, Bugs Bunny. You know, the original Looney Tunes cast to be a part of it. Not have like another WB corporate person come in and just ruin the film. You know?
Okay, I know. Like having having it be limited to the original Looney Tunes characters is the preferable route. But let's just say that they go beyond the Looney Tunes. Have it be so that the Easter eggs and the cameos are used sparingly instead of in your face like Space Jam: New Legacy did.
Yeah.
Like there is a way that you can use other Warner Bros. Properties, but you have to use them well.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I mean, again, like I said, the Looney Tunes looked to be having a great property with Coyote vs. Acme. It looked like a lot of people were pitching up great ideas for it, and it seemed like it was going to be in production. So, in 2018, they started making the film, and they were both to have a release date in 2023 for the film. But the Warner Brothers actually did push back on the release date for Coyote vs. Acme for another film that was supposed to come out in 2023. You all know what movie it is. It's Barbie. So what are your thoughts on the change that happened where Coyote vs. Acme got pushed back for Barbie?
I will say that it's perfectly understandable as to why they did it. I mean, when you do think about it, Barbie is one of the, biggest, profitable names, in the world because of how it was a popular girls' toy brand. Mm-hmm. So with a Barbie movie, you could see it being big and you could see it triumphing over Coyote versus Acme, like box office wise, especially. So I do see why they went with that move because of it.
Okay, so here's the thing. Like, I believe Barbie was just more like what you said, Obed. It was a much more like well-known franchise compared to Looney Tunes. Like, you don't see much Looney Tunes in media that much compared to Barbie because like Barbie is a toy. Barbie is like playable with all girls, that kind of thing. So, and plus everybody's related to Barbie just because everybody grew up with it. So it made sense why they decided to make that move, and it worked out for Warner Brothers because it turned out to be a very profitable film. It was a very successful film. And it did help Warner Brothers do a great job in trying to get back up in the numbers, to say.
Keyword being try.
Yeah, well, they did. They ended up being like a successful film. So yeah. I mean, it's even nominated for Best Picture for this year's Oscars.
Yeah, it helped the movie a lot. Like the movie did, very well, and it did help Warner Brothers as a studio, as a company, a little bit.
Like, think about it. Like, if you were a executive, you would pick Barbie over, Coyote vs. Acme.
I would. I think anyone would if they want to be, successful.
I mean, you're facing off against like other big names that were happening in the summer, like Oppenheimer, for example. They knew, like, I have a feeling Warner Brothers knew, like, dude, Oppenheimer looks to be a great film. We need to face it off with something, Barbie.
Hence why we got Barbenheimer.
And they did a great job with that weekend. We both love that movie. Yeah. So we both won. Nonetheless, everybody wins. Like the companies won, the fans won. Yeah, movie goers were winning too. So
this was a win for both Warner Brothers and Universal, respectively, with their films.
Yeah. But again, like I said, Coyote vs. Acme got pushed back, and they were going to release it on another date, probably 2024. But then tragedy struck. In November 9, 2023, Warner Bros. Announced that the movie was completed, but will not be released. It was completed. Like, everything was done. Everybody, all the producers, all the actors were all doing their job, and they finished the whole film. But Warner Bros. Did the move of not releasing it. And they would love to just write it off for a tax credit of $30 million. Of course, this sparked wide outrage from filmmakers, animation outlets, and animation fans. The studio was seriously under fire at this time. And rightfully so. Your thoughts on just the first time you heard about the cancellation about Coyote vs. Acme?
My God, this is some of the most brain dead crap that I've seen, like, from a Warner Brothers company. Like just because you have like a tax write off, like just because you still have a massive debt to pay, you end up screwing over the cast and crew who worked so hard, who worked hours and hours and hours upon a movie, and then completing it only for you guys to scrap that project altogether. Oh my God, it is just... I can't help but feel bad for, especially the cast and crew, because they poured their heart and souls out, and they completed the project. They spent all that time only for it to pretty much see that the entire movie, all that time dedicated for the movie, was for nothing. It was for naught.
I do feel bad for like those that ended up actually working for this movie because from what was being shown, what from all the pictures that are being seen and all the ideas and all the things that have been going on with the crew and staff, it looked to be like a really promising film. It looked to be like an amazing film to be, distributed out from Warner Brothers for everybody to watch either on the theaters or in Max. But hearing the fact that they pushed it off and decided to write it off, that just makes me feel like really angry. Like, dude, all those people that worked behind the scenes worked on making that animation of Coyote be in real life, and all the actors that portrayed their hearts out, plus the people that were writing it, the people that were like doing behind the scenes, like the lighting, the cameraman, everybody there that made the sets, for example, all those work was for nothing. Like, you literally are not showing their work out in the screens, and it just feels so betrayed. Like, it feels so like defeating, the fact that those people that are not getting like any recognition because their work is not being shown in theaters.
Yeah, it's like they each got spat in the face by David Zaslav. It is a spit in the face to all those talented cast and crew and everyone that was involved with this project. It really is.
Yeah, and like when I first heard about it back in November, the fact that they're going to write it off, and I'm like, I'm going to be with like everybody who was going to be working on the film. Like, if I remember correctly, everybody was on social media just saying like, oh my God, this is like a terrible thing to do for Warner Brothers. My work is not being shown in theaters. I want to make sure that this is released. So guys, come and follow, come and tag along, and hence the hashtag release Coyote vs. Acme. That's why you kept seeing the hashtag everywhere. And I was with them. I wanted to see the film. I'm a huge Looney Tunes fan. Like, I grew up with Looney Tunes. I wanted to see if Coyote can be able to actually win against Acme, But yes, not seeing that film, like not seeing like everybody's work when it came to that film. I mean, it just feels like you're right, Omid, for not like you're not gonna get any benefit from it. Like, those folks that are working behind the scenes are not getting anything for it, and it just feels so sad. I feel so bad about it,
What makes it even worse is that, well, it's Wile E. Coyote, and he's part of the Looney Tunes. Now, keep in mind, the Looney Tunes are the poster children of Warner Brothers. And, Bugs Bunny especially, at one point, he was part of the Warner Brothers Entertainment logo.
Yes.
So yeah, honestly, it's a spit in the face to the Warner Brothers, like I said, Warner Brothers poster child, the Looney Tunes.
Yeah, and again, this just continued to happen. So yeah, I mean, the initial cancellation happened, and then this started the whole movement of hashtag release Coyote vs. Acme. Were you a part of those folks that actually did put out the hashtag release Coyote vs. Acme? Because I believe I was one of them actually putting it up on our Anination podcast Twitter to release Coyote vs. Acme.
What I did was that I did end up, liking and also pretty much expressing my thoughts on it. Like, I remember like commenting and liking on supposed to say hashtag release Coyote vs. Acme because, well, I don't have X, I have Instagram and Facebook, and yeah, I'm at this time where I'm just like, yeah, I agree with those guys.
I agree with everybody too, and I really do think that they need to release Coyote vs. Acme. That was back then because I don't want to see like artists' work continue to just fall apart or not be shown at all, like in any sort of media. Like, I really want to see how they do when it comes to this kind of idea, and the fact that they ended up like shutting it down is just absolutely infuriating to hear.
It really is.
Yeah. So obviously the release Coyote vs. Acme came up, and that's when everybody started to post on social media that it actually brought up a big movement of fans wanting to release it, a lot of staffers ready to release it, including the voice actors also wanting to release it as well. I mean, Eric Bauza was huge on that, by the way. So
Release Coyote vs. Acme!
Yeah, you saw that in the Anime Awards.
Also, there was a post on a Blue Sky that I saw release Coyote vs. Acme, and I couldn't help but share. I'm just like, yes, spread the word.
You know what? It reminds me of this particular like picture here. Oh, it's not showing. Either way. Oh, here, sorry. There it is. It reminds me of this. I mean, come on. We were all doing this. Hashtag save Coyote vs. Acme. I remember fan artists doing the same thing. Release Coyote vs. Acme. And then, like, seeing people, like, draw Coyote, like, stepping on David Zaslav. Doing something to make sure to pretty much, like have revenge on, like, the CEO of Warner Brothers. Because he's doing a really bad job when it comes to having people's work be out there for tax write-offs.
Oh my God. You gotta feel bad for this poor Yodi. Like, this poor Wile E. Coyote, he can't catch a break between, trying to catch, Roadrunner, but failing at it. And then you got, Warner Bros. Screwing him over. The Coyote can't catch a break.
Yeah, Bowie can't catch a break, and then he needs to sue Acme. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's an interesting like idea, but yes.
Yeah, I've seen Coyote with his picket sign saying "Release my movie."
Oh,
and
there's
all
so
that
many
stuff.
of that.
Yeah.
I mean, you can look at YouTube, you can look at social media. There's just so many talk about the hashtag release Coyote versus Acme or anything when it comes to Coyote versus Acme. This is the reason why we're doing it too. Okay, so
Yeah, like this whole podcast episode we're doing, like this is our way of like this is a presentation of our version of saying hashtag release Coyote versus Acme.
yeah. So the thing about the movement is that it actually did work because WB was actually looking into actually selling the film its rights to any of the other streaming services that were out there, like Netflix, Amazon, Paramount Plus, those big names. When you heard about that big news, what are your thoughts? The fact that there's a chance Coyote vs. Acme will be seen.
I was sort of holding on to hope that one of them would be able to buy the distribution rights of Coyote versus Acme, but I'm wondering like who would be the one to I'm wondering who out of the three would be the most who has the highest chance of getting Coyote versus Acme. I'm just wondering. Maybe Amazon.
I didn't care. I just wanted any one of those companies to get it.
I want any of those companies to get it too.
Yeah, I was saying like I'm not picky on like who picks up this movie. Anybody pick it up. Like I would be getting if Netflix picks it up, then that's a huge thing because I have a Netflix account, I have a Paramount account, I have an Amazon Prime Video account. It doesn't matter who gets it picked up. It needed to be picked up because of the fact that this movie was going to be scrapped off. Because I don't want it like hearing that kind of thing just tells me like. No, somebody needs to pick it up, and it was just great to hear the fact that WB was going to sell it off to some other streaming service out there, because it gives it gives light to that movie to say like, hey, this will not be canceled. We will not have that. Let it happen. It will be released.
Yeah. So honestly, I'm good with either of any of these studios picking up the distribution rights as well. I'm good with any of them, but I was actually like curious myself. I was kind of tempting to like place my bid at like okay, who's gonna be the one to pick it up?
It's not a competition.
It's not a
I
competition.
know. I don't want it to be a competition. I just say like anybody pick it up. I was just I like in behind the scenes. I was just more like, look, if all these companies are listening in to like getting this film, go any one of them pick it up. I don't care. Like please make sure this movie continues to be released.
Yeah, honestly, that's a priority. That's a priority. Just release Coyote vs. Acme no matter where.
Exactly. Yeah. So what's so great about this film is that it was just potentially screened to pretty much everybody that wanted to get like this film, including out of all people, Phil Lord and Chris Miller. So they were gonna do like whatever it takes to make sure that this film will get released. However, this year on February 9th, it was reported that Warner Brothers did reject all the bids for the studios. That's because they really did want to sell the movie for $75 to $80 million, but none of the studios bid that much. So they were really going high. We're really going high for that.
Yeah, I think that Warner Brothers pretty much the amount of bid the bid that they put it really just show the greediness of the studios.
I know that they were like in like debt, like huge debt.
They're in huge debt, like to be fair. But even so, though, it's like you're pretty much you're selling it for that much.
That's quite interesting because I don't think the budget was that much, like $80 million for a film like that.
That's the problem is that they're so heavily focused on wanting to get out of that debt as soon as possible. Is that they're pretty much willing to do things the wrong way in terms of trying to sell.
So they were
away.
selling the film for a higher cost compared to like what would be original cost for like production of the film, to say.
Which was the problem? It was a huge problem with David Zaslav and Warner Brothers. It's just that like they were so fixated on like how to get out of the debt, like I said, and to get as much money as possible, as opposed to looking at the actual value of the movie.
From the way I'm seeing this right now, that's absolutely way greedy for Warner Brothers itself.
So greedy.
Yeah, it was just okay. That's okay. So to be fair, that's new news to me. Like, wow, like why would you up the price for a movie to be released out to another studio?
It's probably the greediest that an animation studio. It's probably the greatest that a studio CEO has been in a while.
Yeah, I mean, I do feel bad for all those like companies because like I understand their like budget, you know, like they can't really pull up a lot of money for it. They are making their own movies too, and they have to pay those people like their production rights in order for them to make their movies. So having this like movie be in their hands for that much, it would take a big hit for those companies. Yes.
It really did, and and honestly, it's along the lines of you know what, like based on Netflix, Amazon, and Paramount, like they have their own stuff to do. Like
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So it's like I think like as much as I want Coyote versus Acme to be released, like looking at the studios themselves and how much plate they have, it is kind of like it's to the best for them, like to not buy it because
Yeah.
it would definitely not do well financially for any of the studios that
Well,
would
it will
buy
put them in debt as well.
It will put
so
them in
it
debt
may
as
not.
well. That's
It
the
may
thing.
not be. So it may have been like a wise move for them to not buy that. But bro, like, still, that's still under Warner Brothers like responsibility to sell that off for that much. I'm like, that's still
Yeah.
very greedy for like. Again, Zaslav and the
Like-
Warner Brothers studios. I'm like, what is happening behind the scenes in WB? I'm like, wow, why do this?
Like they what David Zaslav did was that he took the car salesman route.
It's terrible from the way I'm kind of hearing things
Yeah.
right now. I'm like, wow, this could be a great movie for them to show in Netflix, to show in Amazon Prime Video. But no, apparently Warner Brothers just wants to keep it in their hands, and they put up a very high price for them in order for them to keep the money. It's kind of stupid. It definitely is greedy for sure. And, as of this day, Coyote vs. Acme will not be released from Warner Bros. Discovery. After all our efforts of putting the hashtag release Coyote vs. Acme, after all the outcries, after all the movement, the petitions that we've done in order for Coyote vs. Acme to be released out in theaters or in any streaming service, it's all to naught, and we are not getting this film. It will not be released. It is going to be shelved in WB's vault. So your thoughts on this final decision that the Warner Brothers company has done?
Wow. It's already bad enough that they spit in the faces of those that actually worked hard in the production of the movie, but also it's a spit in the face to those that have worked hard to spread the word of the release Coyote vs. Acme movement as well. So you're pretty much spitting in all our faces as of right now. Because much similar to, much like how, their work on the film was all for naught now, like our movement and our, and our focus and attention to getting this movie spread as possible was all for naught as well. So pretty much it's the way David Zaslav is treating us is like they're pretty much wasting all of our efforts, because at the end of the day, we fought so hard to get what we got, and we couldn't even get that.
Well, we did. I mean, this is an absolutely terrible decision that Warner Bros. Had to do. They did end up getting their $30 million tax write-off, but for what? Like, to get yourself out of debt? I still believe you're still in debt, even though you wrote off that film.
Oh yeah, honestly, I don't think the debt is going to end anyway. Because that debt is huge. So no matter which way you look at it, no matter what type of move Zaslav, it's trying to make, you're going to end up being in that huge ass amount of debt, like for years to come still.
Yeah, Zaslav is just continuing to just make bad decisions here and there. And again, we've seen this in Warner Brothers as of late. Like, when it comes to movies and Warner Brothers, Zaslav, the CEO, has just not been great when it comes to it. We've seen films like get axed, like Batgirl, for example, which, to be fair, is a film that was in production that just got axed.
Yeah.
And Scooby-Doo Holiday Hunt. That film was finished, yet they just never wanted to release it because they wrote it off as a tax off. Again, a big problem that Warner Brothers has had when it comes to films and axing them off for write-offs. Your thoughts on Warner Brothers right now? It just feels like this is just continuing on and on from last year to years before when this whole merger happened for Discovery and Warner Brothers.
Oh my god. Yeah, seriously. It's like, that's the thing. Like you point out, this is Coyote vs. Acme is not an isolated case in terms of the big issue that Warner Bros. Is having. There have been two cases, like you point out, Batgirl and Scoob Holiday Haunt, and I'm just wondering, like, it leaves me wondering what future Warner Bros. Movie is going to get the same treatment, because it can happen to any sort of movie, like whether it's finished or not, and that's what's really frustrating about this, and that is why David Zaslav is a hack who has no business being a CEO whatsoever.
He's making bad decisions here and there. This is not looking great for Warner Brothers Discovery, and it's so weird because like, well, WB and AT&T was also a bad merger as well. Like they had their issues when it came to it, but I know Warner Brothers was definitely out in the dumps. That they definitely need some sort of light. That's why Discovery came in and actually did a merger here and there, but they didn't know how bad it was going to be because remember, Warner Brothers came in with that new CEO, David Zaslav. They have their own CEO when they were in AT&T. Was it AT&T and Warner Brothers? You know, so it's just absolutely just devastating to hear. Like after a business change, after a merger change, this kind of CEO just cares more about the money and debt that they had to go through, and lo and behold, all these projects continue to get canceled. I feel bad for everybody that keeps on getting their film canceled, like for example, Batgirl, because that was supposed to be looking to be a great movie, yet that also got axed. And again, Coyote vs. Acme. It continues to be an ongoing trend for Warner Brothers that they try to get themselves out of the debt, but it's not working out in our favor. Like, it may be working for their favor. I don't even know what's going on behind the scenes when it comes to the CEO and businessmen that are working Warner Brothers. It may be working for them, but for us, we're getting hurt. Like, films are just getting canceled here and there. Potential, like, movies that we think, potential media that we're thinking that could go better for Warner Brothers is just continuing to just slide through because of their like stupid decisions and all.
Yeah, exactly. You're screwing over the consumers and the cast and crew. Like you're screwing everyone except those like within your own board. You know, the Warner Brothers board of management and all this stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, is it just me or does Warner Brothers have sort of a codependency problem? Like they're codependent on merging with another company.
I have no idea because Warner Brothers has been through this hole for years now. Like they've been Time Warner, like that was back in the 2000s where Time Magazine and Warner Brothers were merged together, and then Time Warner got bought up by AT&T. That's where that merger came in, and then Warner Brothers went with Discovery, and that turned out to be the worst mistake ever. And we were thinking back then, like AT&T and Time Warner was also bad too. So either way, Warner Brothers is kind of in a screwed up like predicament. Yes,
they really are, and there needs to be a fundamental change in terms of Warner Brothers. They really does. In order for Warner Brothers to hopefully thrive, there has to be something that needs to fundamentally change, and that is bring in a new CEO.
I think so. I think so too. But again, we'll break that down. I feel like this is going to be an episode of the Anination podcast soon. The fall of Warner Brothers, right, guys?
Yeah, to say that it's a fall is a massive understatement. It is.
It's just continuing on to go downhill from here. I mean, what's next? What's the next big news that came up for Warner Brothers? Oh, wait, that's right. Rooster Teeth. Oh, that's right. That's also getting gone too.
And just like with that, as a camp fan, I'm really upset. But most importantly, first and foremost, I'm upset that I feel bad for the employees that worked at Rooster Teeth that are getting screwed over by this.
Well, here's the thing. Like, was Ruby going to have a new series? Was Ruby gonna have a new season? I don't know. Like, there was no big announcements from Rooster Teeth in a while.
Yeah. Like I haven't seen. Like I don't really watch Ruby to be honest, so I can't really tell you that. But Camp Camp just started season 5. It aired episode 1 last week, and I was looking forward to a brand new season, but no, this happened.
But here's the thing: the best. I don't know if this is like the best part about this whole like development of Rooster Teeth, but they are listening to other companies to buy the properties of Ruby, of Camp Camp, of other things that Rooster Teeth are working on. So there's promise in that, unless they would write it off like what they're doing right now with WB. I'm like, please don't do that. Please don't do that. And yeah. So again, we also want to talk about like the people who are kind of like hurt when it came to Coyote versus Acme not being released down in theaters or any kind of streaming media. One particular actor to voice out his concerns was Will Forte, the actor that was going to be the main star of Coyote versus Acme besides Coyote. He said on X's statement saying to the cast and crew of Coyote vs. Acme, "I know that a lot of you have gotten a chance to see our movie, and sadly it looks like you never will. When I first heard that our movie was getting deleted, I hadn't seen it yet. So I was thinking what everyone else must have been thinking, this thing must be a hunk of junk. But then I saw it, and it's incredible. So if Will Forte can be able to see the film and we can't, and he says it's incredible, it feels like we have a huge loss in our hands."
Oh, yeah. Honestly, it's a movie that what could have been. What could have been a movie to be seen by many Looney Tunes fans and animation fans everywhere turns out to be seen by one actor. And
No, it's like, well, a lot of other people, but to be fair, like we the fans can't see it. The audience
fans
can't see it. Yes.
okay, like seen by like the cast and crew and those that have gone to see the film, including Will Forte. And I gotta say, like my heart weeps for Will Forte. You could tell how passionate he was about working on this project. He had fun with it, and he was hoping for it to be seen by like the general public, by the audience. But now that the film that he worked on as an actor can't be seen, yeah, you can feel the pain and devastation behind that statement.
Yeah, you know what's funny though? You know who hasn't seen it? David Zaslav. Yeah. So why, David?
Why am I not surprised?
David, yeah, you made a bad decision, man. You made a bad decision.
Yeah, like honestly, the freaking CEO. Well, I use the term CEO loosely. Didn't even see the movie. You can just. Then again, why should I really care? Like, he hasn't been doing Warner Brothers any favors anyway.
Right. So the fans are hurt. The people are hurt. The staff are hurt. Just everybody who wanted to see Coyote vs. Acme will never see it again, and obviously we can't be able to. Omid, look at the positive side about this. Do you think there's a chance we can be able to watch this film? Do you think there's a chance that we can see a little bit of glimpse of possibly seeing Coyote vs. Acme?
I'm gonna say like the chances are not exactly zero. There is about like a 10% chance that this could somehow be salvaged, that this could somehow be rescued, because there have been past films that have been on the chopping block that have gotten rescued much later on, like for example Nimona. I'm honestly hoping that Coyote vs. Acme gets the Nimona treatment, where it's been announced to be canceled after many tries to bring that movie to life, but then later on a miracle happens where Nimona gets saved by Netflix. I really hope that Coyote vs. Acme meets that same fate.
It really right now at the moment there's like what, a 1%, 2% chance right now that it actually will be released out in theaters, or if any like streaming media can be able to release it out. Because right now the decision was final, like it's shelved, it's gone. Like, it's unfortunate to hear that, but there are some signs that show that there is a potential chance that Coyote vs. Acme will be out there. People have been leaking out the script, for example. That one was actually pretty like groundbreaking. Like the fact that one of the staffers or an anonymous source literally just put out the script for us to read, and yeah, it looked promising. Like, there's that. Will there be like scenes or videos of the movie coming out? We don't know. Obviously, it's on Warner Brothers' hands. Maybe like some person in Warner Brothers can like pick it up out of nowhere and just put it on YouTube,
We can only hope. But yeah, as of right now, unfortunately, Coyote vs. Acme is lying on its deathbed at this moment.
To be fair, it's kind of like dead. And I kind of don't want to say it, but it is kind of dead. Like, there's no, like, at the moment, even with our efforts of putting that hashtag out, again, it's to not happen.
I mean, all we could do now is pretty much rely on the 1 to 2% chance that it will happen. But yeah, even though chances are not zero, they look to be near zero.
It looks to be near zero at the moment, and yet again, like, I feel sad for everybody who has worked on this film. It's just not great. One more question, Omid. What were your thoughts on this whole roller coaster ride that we went through, watching how this film was to be made, was apparently pushed back, and never going to be released out anymore?
Yeah, honestly, I just got to say, Coyote vs. Acme went through a lot. It went through a lot. And it really is devastating to hear about how, at the end, that journey, that, events, the string of events, all that amounted to, it amounted to nothing, like I said before. It all amounted to nothing. And it's really sad. And it pains me as an animation fan and Looney Tunes fan especially to see this movie meet that fate.
It was, again, a one crazy ride to go through, just to see like so many people with this movement of trying to get Coyote vs. Acme out there. again, very sad day, very sad moment to see the fact that this film is not going to be happening. I feel bad for all those people working in staff. I feel bad for those that cannot be able to see their like work be shown in the light of day. It's just devastating, to be fair. There has to be change. There really has to be change when it comes to Warner Brothers right now. And what you said, Omid, it should be the first thing to happen is to fire David Zaslav, because I think that's the only way to do it. Like, have change in leadership, have something come out there in Warner Brothers to not have these kind of films pop up being canceled anymore. You know, what other thoughts do you have that could change Warner Brothers, if anything?
I think what it really comes down to is, change, like you said, change in leadership, and also make sure that once a film is finished, it gets released. Like, don't have the film be finished and then it turns to be all for nothing.
I feel like there should be like a judgment panel in the whole Warner Brothers film district there, because there could be hitters, there could be misses. This, I believe, was a hitter that never got released. Look at like the plot lines of other films that Warner Brothers is doing and scrap those out for write-offs instead of like having potential animated goodies like this one to just be written off for nothing.
Seriously, it's just, I'm gonna say this right now, David Zaslav screwed over Wile E. Coyote more than Roadrunner ever did.
Most likely. Not even the Acme Corporation can fight that.
Yeah.
So yeah, our final thoughts about this. Yes, I know this has been a sad story that we have just read through. But this was just an emotional roller coaster. Like, from everybody's efforts to release Coyote vs. Acme, and the whole particular story of just how entertaining. Like, I'm not gonna lie, this was entertaining to watch. Like, just to see how this film was going to be made, to being pushed back, to not having it happen at all, and having so many people out of all places, all animators, all people that are in animation, those that work on Warner Brothers, to do something to release Coyote vs. Acme. And there was a light of hope with the fact that they were going to give it off to other companies, only for Warner Brothers to be the evil villains again, to not have it anymore. It is quite an emotional ride for those who wanted to watch Coyote vs. Acme, but we are living through it right now, and fingers crossed we can be able to watch it or have any sign of like significant sign that says we can be able to see Coyote vs. Acme.
That's all we could do, is just try and just like manifest, manifest for the hope.
You know those manifest stuff that people do? Did they actually come? Did it actually happen? That's my issue. Yeah.
Like, they mostly don't, but it's for the sake of spreading hope.
I know. And I mean, hope is out there. We'll see. But yes, Coyote vs. Acme has been shelved, and I feel bad for the Coyote, but we gotta. I'm so sorry that you have to be under like Warner Brothers executives.
Rip.
Yeah.
Rip Coyote vs. Acme.
We just hope. Yeah, I'm very sorry that we actually end the episode on a sad note.
Yeah, it is a sad note, but at the same time, like, I felt this is really important to discuss, and I feel like this is a powerful story to tackle, just based on the fact of how this is a prime example of how animation is treated by studios.
I just hope there is more change. If anything, the whole hashtag release of Coyote vs. Acme gives light to the fact that animators are out there. They're people, they're working people, they're hardworking people. They should be paid like equally and be treated equally.
Animation is a medium. Animation is an art, not a genre.
Exactly, but we'll see how it goes. Hopefully things get better. I don't know what's going on with Warner Brothers, but again, we'll talk more about that in a future episode coming up. We'll do more research when it comes to Warner Brothers or any other big companies. I mean, we've done it before. We did like a whole decline of Nickelodeon. We did something about Netflix. Let us know. Just write down in the comments if you guys want us to do more of these kind of like periodical pieces, because this is fun to do, fun to research, fun to talk about. And yeah, I mean, this was a good episode to just say we need to talk about this. Animation needs this kind of like highlight.
Yeah, let us know if you need us to pretty much tackle an animation studio or studio in general for the third time.
Just anything when it comes to the words of stuff like that. Yes.
For the third time.
Yes. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it for our Anination podcast episode. Next week, we have the Oscars results. We'll have another beer ready for the winner.
Hopefully you'll see me chugging the beer.
We'll see, man. Again, we'll have to see who wins. That's the problem. Again, well, here's the thing. Like, most of our picks have been the same. Oppenheimer to win Best Picture. We both picked that. But the other categories besides that are different, so.
Yeah, I think like some have been similar, some have been different. Whereas this, pretty much the difference has been it's for the most part. It's been mostly different.
Yeah.
Just Crunchyroll Anime Awards.
Anime Awards, we already said, like, they favored one movie. I don't know if the Oscars going to do the same thing, if they're going to favor one movie. I really hope not. Please spread it out. Please spread it out to Barbie. At least give the Best Picture to, to Oppenheimer. Or give Best Director to Oppenheimer, too, because they both deserve that.
Yeah, exactly. And also...
But please give some stuff to Barbie.
Best Original Score, Ludwig for Oppenheimer as well.
We'll see how it goes, but again...
Robert Downey Jr. as Louis Strauss, he deserves that award.
Oh, Best Supporting Actor? Yeah, that'd be a good one, too. Now, again, are we watching it on Sunday? Is people invited on Sunday, too, or...?
Yes, we are. You included.
Okay, cool. Thank you. We'll be watching it on Sunday together.
You'll be guest of honor.
All right. Well, that's pretty much it for our Anination podcast. Thank you very much for watching on YouTube. And make sure you follow us on all of our social medias, and also make sure you hit the subscribe button and hit the bell button so that you'll be notified when we'll be on. We'll have new episodes every Wednesday. And make sure you also subscribe to us because we always pop up random videos here and there. We still have to do that still have to upload that video of us eating that hot clam chowder, that hot oyster bar challenge.
that was something. That was something.
Yeah, that was fun.
By the way, neither of us could finish.
No, we couldn't fit. We died. We just couldn't be able to eat it all.
It was quite an experience, but it was quite a chaotic experience from my mouth.
Again, like I said, we will put up more videos randomly, just anything when it comes to highlights, when it comes to animation podcasts and things like that. But thank you all for checking us out on the Anination podcast. We'll be back next Wednesday for a brand new episode. But until then, we'll see you guys on the next one. Bye, everybody.
Have a good night, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.
See you guys on the next one.
See ya.
All right.
Anination